And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the GSH Podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
We took a week off, but we back. We bike. All right, so the streets have been buzzing. There has been a new interview that has hit the streets by the right's favorite right now. They said that there's a new right, and he is the leader. He went on Piers Morgan, and this might have been his first really mainstream, unsanitized version of what his specific rhetoric is. We talking about Nick Fuentes. He went on Piers Morgan, uncensored, and he presented a lot of his talking points that he puts behind a paywall. And as a part of him doing that, he's put it out for public consumption, public ridicule, or public interrogation, I guess you might say. So with that said, I think that we'll dive some into that, and we'll ask some of the questions. Is the right and the conservatives becoming the new gateway for white supremacy? What should we all do to combat what is now becoming the new right, the new conservatives? But before we get into that, y'all see the guys. We are back again. I got A Black. He's over in Africa honeymooning it. But we do have the three horsemen still here. G, talk to us, brother.
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the GSH Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSHPOD. Hi.
All right. We have Johnny P, 1/3 of the To Be Fair Show, the host of the To Be Fair Show. What's going on, brother?
What up? What up? What up? Hi. Happy to be back. Yeah, we missed a week, but we cooking like grease again. So I think this gonna be a good one. We get to talk about your boy.
I see that we got some people in the chat. Do y'all? I guess I'll toss this to y'all. Do y'all want to hit a couple icebreakers? Do y'all want to start off quick on the topic?
Man, I say we get to the topic.
We get to the topic.
I mean, something else did. I don't know. We don't want to talk about Diddy first.
We can. We got a couple memes lined up. So what we'll do is, what we have is a bunch, and it looked like the chat is speaking to us right now. The chat is speaking to us. All right, chat. We hear y'all. We hear y'all loud and clear. Loud and clear. So what we'll do is we'll start off a little random, right? So we do have a lot of the memes that have been sent in. They've been sent in that have been circulating from the Piers Morgan interview that he did. And I guess we can start breaking down just some of these isolated memes, and we'll talk through some of them with whether we agree, disagree. Again, he went on Piers Morgan. It might have been like a 2-hour interview, and they really got into the depths of like his POV. They talked about his dad. They talked about his race politics, if he is a racist. His belief in or non-belief in, the Holocaust and the numbers, or if he's like we'll get to it. My bad. Let's just push play. I'll push play on this one right here, and yeah, we'll kind of start the conversation.
Just to clear up one of the many theories about you, I've no idea what the answer is, and you haven't got to answer. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay.
But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So
that's not.
There's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should stay at home?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur, aren't you? For a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick Fuentes? All women.
I am.
All women are annoying. All women grow old. They all get fat. There's the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Says the guy who's never got laid.
Yo, who says absolutely not as a grown man? Like, I don't even know what. Like, yo, this dude is weird. Absolutely not.
Like, and he said it did say they're difficult to be around. Right after like try to convince people you ain't gay, it's not. Yeah, that's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one.
Hey, yeah, I guess like I said, we're gonna get into a lot more of the depth of things and unpack the conversation. But again, how do y'all feel about Nick Fuentes, the 27-year-old far right activist, being pressed by Piers Morgan on if he didn't felt around the box a little bit?
He should have asked him that. He said, "Well, have you touched it?"
Well, he asked him about the tampon. He said, "Have you ever seen the tampon?"
Third base, second base. I mean, hey, I'd have trolled a little harder. I'd have asked specifically, "Have you had sex with a woman?" And then I'd have dug a little deeper. And
yeah. So
I think that's a great place to attack versus like somebody who has like. It's like if you ain't got experience with women, it's hard to have an opinion on women. Just with anything though. Like if you ain't been, certain places, it's hard to have opinion on certain places. So it's just like it's hard to have that opinion never having been with a woman. It's just kind of suspicious.
So let's attack a couple of his points. He said women shouldn't vote. What is y'all thoughts? This is actually a chat. I mean, listen, I implore y'all, join the Discord. Shout out Steve. Steve was actually.
Yo, they need to get up here. So, wait, somebody in the Discord was saying women shouldn't vote.
I probably pick what channel it was, but
I hopped in the Discord and Steve he was combating the conversation. But
it's a dumb conversation to have though. It's like
what is y'all thoughts? I don't know. Maybe it's not dumb. What is y'all thoughts? Should women have the right to vote?
Yes.
Yep. It's a very. I don't even understand. I'd like to hear anyone who has like a reasonable argument against it. Like I
think that what they say is that women couldn't get selected for selective service or something like that. So women shouldn't have the right to vote. And then I think that Steve actually gave a very like succinct pushback where he said, well, we have like right now we have a volunteer military service. So most men aren't even participating in the military service. And also by that same metric, if we're going off of people serving in the military, that would mean that there is a decent amount of women that have more of a right to vote than most men.
Mm-hmm. This is the dumb.
Yeah, it's a very silly logic to base who can vote off of who qualifies for selective service. It's like saying so the fact that it's like what else? Like why does that reign supreme over everything else? Like why does that disqualify their rights to any other thing? Like I mean, they work. It just doesn't make sense. Like they pay taxes, it's like
they have a whole bunch of issues that men never have that they should probably have their voice heard on. That like
I mean, men vote on women's matters. Like why are men voting on shit that have to do with like women's health like that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like you can make that argument. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. Like if you pay taxes, you should be able to vote for that government thing, whatever they doing. Like if your tax money goes to the funding of those elected official or those elected positions, if your tax money funds that position, you should have a right to vote for that position. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you the stickler then. So does that mean also that you believe that tax-paying immigrants should have the right to vote?
Now you got to be a legal citizen.
Okay, all right. So
you got to be a legal citizen.
Okay.
If I'm not legal, I ain't paying taxes, so I don't even know how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if I'm here under the how does that even work? Like if I'm not legal,
well, no, I guess like there is the argument that is put forth that some people would say that deporting illegals hurts the economy in multiple ways. One of those being that these are tax-paying citizens as well that are introducing, money into the economy. Whether even if you say that they got paid under the table at the construction job or whatever they do, right? I think the idea would be that whether it's that wherever they staying at, whatever the groceries or whatever, if they're not on the Somali EBT, that they're putting something forth into the economy. I think that would be the argument if we're trying to like have a fair argument.
Yeah, no, that's that. Like, okay, they buy goods and services, so they pay like sales taxes and those types of taxes, but they're not filling out. If you working under the table, the whole part of the whole benefit of doing that is that you're not gonna do your W. You're not gonna be doing your taxes to a T at the end of the year. Like you don't have to claim it necessarily, depending on how big of a scale operation you going. So
gotcha. Well, I guess I'll also levy, and then Levon, we'll address both of your statements. This was the fair critique that was presented in the Discord as a rebuttal. Who did you grow up with? Did you grow up inside a single parent home because you sound emotional and I forget illogical? I think it is. That was a rebuttal. I don't know.
To that point.
Yeah, like women voting. If you think that they should vote.
So if you think women should vote, you grew up in a single parent home. Like, what kind of logic is this? This is like
it's just what I heard. I can only go by like the exact words. LTO, we about to drop the call in. We'll drop the call in early. If I'm misquoting it, Steve, talk to me. I feel like that was like what I got as the pushback. That they couldn't get selected to selective services, and then if you disagree, you're emotional. But
you disagree.
That was what he said.
Niggas don't be trying to get no box out here, boy. Having these.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Like you.
All right, holes, boy. Hey fellas, I'm dropping the link early, but and ladies, I'm dropping the link early, but we are going to try and stay succinct into the conversation. But really quickly, Levon, he said millions of illegals in the last 2 elections have voted. What is your thoughts on that?
It's a problem.
Okay, and do you think that millions of illegals did vote?
I mean, I don't know if it did. It's a problem. That's the thing. Is like you hear all this stuff, but the proof, I have to admit, like I'm not looking at voting records and stuff like that. But if in fact millions of folks are illegally voting, that's a problem with the system. That's already a fucked up system in the first place. So it's a problem. It should be addressed. Now, I do think the rhetoric from the right, like making this like a democratic, like are trying to take over with illegals, I think that's silly. I don't necessarily agree that like Democrats are intentionally letting illegals vote to get more votes. I just don't think that's necessarily the case. But if it's happening, I think it's a problem.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess I'll bring up Steve real quick just to let him get his POV on this women's voting thing, and maybe he can frame the conversation he had a little bit better.
Let me answer that one though. Let me answer this one first.
Go ahead.
But like I think it's like I need to see the proof, and I think like it's hard to believe that because most people in this country don't really vote. If you look at the numbers, so like if the Americans, if legal citizens aren't really voting at that high of a clip, like I'd have to really see the numbers to say that like illegals are voting at that high of a clip.
Well, yeah, I guess that like for me, that's
That's
the all
fair
right.
too.
One, the pushback would be that they would say that's why the Democrats are letting all the illegals in. So like that would be their pushback. They're letting them in so that they can vote. I don't know if the Democrats are doing like a mandate to like where if we let you in, we got a secret handshake meeting. I mean, secret handshake clause to say that you have to vote for me illegally. But I think that typically is what is kind of like push forward. Um, yeah, my bad, Johnny. You were saying something.
Oh no, I mean I'll just have to see the proof. Like I said, if it's a lot of people that ain't supposed to be voting that's voting, it's a problem.
Mhm.
But a lot of time you just hear claims and you don't necessarily, see the real proof.
Gotcha. Hey, chat. Help us out. If y'all have any actual real documentation of this millions of voter fraud that has been said to happen in the past two elections, because that like again, I pay attention enough, but I haven't actually been able to see any of the verifiables. Um, send a link to us our way. Send a video, and not just one video that's kind of out of context of something random happening that can be explained a thousand different
blurry,
ways. But like
blurry.
if y'all do have a claim that it is like documented proof, or you can also hit that call in link that y'all just seen that we done floated. But with that said, he is nominated for a Tubi. He's nominated in two categories. We talking about
Two-time
chatter of the
nominee.
year, call in of the year. He could take it home. He could leave with two of them. That's all
Big
we saying.
Steve from the West Coast.
Yeah, Steve, welcome to the show. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What up?
Hey, man. All I want to say is, I said women should be able to vote, and motherfucker said, "Do you got a father in your life?" I said, "Damn."
God, dog.
He said, "Were
It's
you?"
more ruthless.
I said, "Hey, women should be able to vote." He said, "Were you raised with a father in the
Where your
home?" I
daddy
said,
at?
"Damn." I
Oh
said,
man.
this don't make no sense, man. This don't make no sense. I'm like, bro, like
Oh
we
my
we
god,
c- we citizens, we get
real
to
deal.
vote.
I ain't
Can't
gonna
even
lie,
take
real
niggas
deal.
serious when they talk like that, man.
When
It's
I
And,
like
seen
and,
that, I about cried.
and then the funniest thing, I'm like, they like, well, women just so emotional and logical. And I'm like, do people not consider anger an emotion? Like, because throughout society, it's easily observable that men act on anger more than women. But
Mhm.
I would never say because men act on anger more than women that we shouldn't be able to vote. Like, it's like we consider everything that's not anger and an emotion, and acting on that is problematic. Well, we know people act on anger. We got a history of dudes going to war over women. We got a history of dudes going to war over perceived disrespect historically.
Diabetic.
So it's just like I don't know if people just don't read, they don't understand, they don't think anger is an emotion, but like men have went to war over very insignificant stuff since
you
the
know what else
beginning of time.
is an emotion? Pride, jealousy,
Mhm.
and you know niggas full of pause, both of those. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like y'all is like, first of all, emotion. Like, I also don't think people understand when they say, "Well, everything is like logical to me. Everything is logical." That sound good, and when you say that,
But
but if
it's
we're just talking about logical, a lot of immoral stuff. Like, for example, colonization is logical. If I'm a European, I get rich, they get poor, and that's the story. That's a very logical relationship
there's a
for
bunch
you to be my
of
colony.
yeah, there's a bunch of logical lenses that you can look at exploitation through as
That's
well.
very logical.
Yeah,
But
especially if you're a
if
person
you
that
don't have no type of, emotional intellect capacity, moral, fiber, you don't see no issue with that type of stuff. So this people's obsession with what's logical, it's a lot of stuff that's logical that's messed up.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's
It
for
will
sure.
be logical to wipe out half the population so I can have more resources to myself. Like, But is that right? Is that should we do that? No.
No, that's fact. And what you said about anger, I think like anger is like the one of the strongest emotions out there, and like an angry man is an emotional man. I be having to tell the homies a lot of time, hey, calm down, nigga. Like, hey, think I understand you mad, but let's think about this. And like, what's the difference between that and an emotional woman?
It, it
It's not a lot of difference, especially when like men go and do like they
is
go and
nowhere to
put niggas in
is
jail
no
and
There's
niggas
too
dead
many men
because
in jail who
angry.
have
Right.
unfortunately got locked up for
For
their
being
emotions taking
emotional.
over.
for,
Yep.
yeah,
It's just
for from an
how it goes.
impulsive decision,
Too many
momentary
would
moment
admit
of
that.
anger.
Yep.
Being
And I,
emotional. You gotta tell niggas that's emotion. Like most of them niggas in jail that was an emotional outburst. He did something that
exactly.
wasn't logical. It was an emotional thing to go back and spend whatever it was. It's all a lot of that's all based on emotion. And like, look where them niggas at.
Well, I think Michael G he just gave us a good one. Like thinking with your dick is an emotional response.
Oh, that's true.
Like yeah.
That's exactly
Like you
very
said, you could be
true.
like, this female's hot. I want it. I'm gonna take. Oh damn it! He went a different route. He went a
Hey,
little
I don't
further.
agree. I
Hey,
take
look,
that back.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, he went a little
I ain't
further.
read it. I ain't read
because
it.
I didn't even finish reading the whole
I ain't
yo,
thing.
when
finished
My
reading
bad.
it.
niggas,
My
I ain't
bad.
finished reading it.
when niggas sex drive is just not intact, it mess up their logic.
Oh
It
no,
do.
listen,
It
it's a
do.
lot of illogical baby
Can't
mamas.
make smart decisions when you ain't getting no pussy. That's why I don't trust Nick Fuentes. It just something about you can't be but so
Motherfucker backed
sound
up.
up here if you ain't getting no pussy. It
No
just you can't
box.
function.
Niggas
Yeah,
frustrated.
that's all.
Fucking
That's all I
fucking
had to
six
say, man.
chakra blocked up.
All right.
If you
I'm
functioning.
gonna move on to this will start our conversation about him and some of his race takes. Um, this isn't the Piers Morgan interview, but this was sent in, so I'm gonna push play on it.
A believer in race. I think that race is real. I'm a Catholic, so I think that we're all created equal by God.
Your political sort of idea of what you want America to really look like, you want it to be more Catholic?
Yeah, I want it to be more Christian. I think it needs to be more white. I do think it needs to be more European. We've always had Black people in this country, Hispanics, Asians, going back hundreds of years, but we've had like 50 million immigrants come in 30 years. And I'm sitting here looking at a city like LA. When is enough enough?
Where is it for you or for me or for anyone to say this is enough? Because this country also was founded on that basis of immigrant.
When the country was founded, it was almost all English people. It was almost all Northern Europeans, and almost all Protestants too. When you start to feel like what America is, it starts to become uncertain. Does it mean speaking English? Does it mean being Christian? A lot of the people coming in, they contest these things.
Are you a white supremacist?
I think what's interesting about his point of view, I think his father is half Mexican, half Irish.
They actually went down this entire line. Like, listen, I don't usually like a lot of Piers Morgan interviews, but this, I think, better yet, whether it's the left or the right, what Piers Morgan does do well is the gotcha interviews. He's gonna pull your clips. He's gonna like bait you into like talking down a line, and then he's gonna kind of attack you on that specific point. And he did that with him and his ethnicity, where he brought up the whole immigration thing, and Nick Fuentes spoke to how, like, I think on his mother's side, they immigrated in the late 16, I think it was like 1860s or something like that. And on his father's side, they immigrated from Mexico inside like the early 1900s, if I'm not mistaken. And he brought up the idea that in general, if you are against immigration, then your family wouldn't really have had like the chance to even have been here. You wouldn't be possible in America. And then specifically because, he does have a specific intention behind the good immigration being the European immigration and the bad ones being from Mexico, from being from, Somali's the new hot word right now. A lot of the, just the other countries. And then Piers Morgan just pointed back to, well, your dad is half Mexican. I thought it was interesting. Fellas.
I got something. I think like to me, this is like why I don't understand people like the Nick Fuentes, because like if white people losing like their demographic in this country is such a big thing, and like the great replacement theory and stuff. Why isn't a person like this? Why aren't people like that? These white conservatives having more babies? They probably should be having like more sex and be creating more babies too, like outproduce, because that's part of
Yeah,
the
he should
issue
have
here.
5 wives.
That's part of the issue is that like if their
Uh,
birth rate is going down,
that is a
you
great
have to
point.
bring people in to replace them to do these jobs and stuff. Like, so you could get busy, Nick, or we're gonna have to go and get some of these people. But like, you can't be like this guy. I don't like
So
women. I
Johnny,
don't
what
like
you're
this.
saying is that him being a
Um,
27-year-old virgin is against, like it's feeding
it's a
into the great
disservice to his
replacement.
race.
It's feeding into the great replacement theory, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you got better go get
Hmm.
some box, Nick. If you trying to like, like
That's a
real
good
talk,
point.
like
Good
that's the
point.
problem he's talking about. Like the birth rate is going down, so like the population got to be that workforce has to be replaced if you think about it. So like, and there's
Because
a
he
lot of Nick
also could
Fuentes
just
out
get
there.
married and have a bunch of kids, but he's choosing to be single.
He could go the Elon
And
route and just
Yeah,
do his thing.
and that's why
hmm,
that's more respectable, honestly. But like,
hmm,
you sitting up there complaining about this shit, I don't rock with it.
hmm.
Yeah.
Steve, you still on the stage? Talk to us, brother.
Yeah, I do find it weird that like particularly European, Americans complain about like immigration, but it's like the issue we have with immigration is literally a byproduct of their interference around the world. Like you destabilize all these countries, create refugee crisis, and then you surprise when people try to come to the only stable thing in the world because you did destabilize everything else. And now everybody kind of complaining, but the this byproduct that that people perceive as a problem is a byproduct of US imperialism. And it's like nobody ever talk about it from that like framing. It's like
Hold up.
people
Hold up. The immigration crisis is a product of U.S. imperialism.
A lot of
yes,
it goes
it's
to black
Yes,
I
yeah.
gotta,
folks.
I gotta understand this. I gotta
The Brits
understand
had a
specific
this.
lot to
spe-
do
I
with it
think
too.
it's particularly central and South America. Like how many like what do you think is going to
What did
happen?
the U.S. own
What
in
do you
South America? Just so I'm on the same page. Because if it's
install dictators?
Gold,
They install
gold,
dictators
oh,
all throughout.
okay. So you talking through like okay through that method. Okay, I hear what you're
Like
saying. Okay.
what do you think people are gonna do if you put narco drug traffickers in charge of their countries because they're willing to do business with the United States of America, and you more worried about communist or socialist influence, and you're not worried about a dude. Trump just released a dude who sold drugs up out of prison last week, former president of Honduras or whatever. So like a lot of this stuff is a byproduct of like US interference. And it's like nobody ever like be like, well, maybe we should stop doing that stuff and let these people have self-determination and figure out whatever they're gonna figure out. And we can't be like, oh, we gonna overthrow them because they're gonna become socialists or they're gonna become communists. They get they can become whatever they want to become if they ain't gonna come over here. But
oh yeah.
you know,
And Steven, honestly though, like I think like the immigration issue and stuff, especially like we're gonna speak about like what's happening right now in Venezuela. Like I don't know, and like I say, I think there are Venezuelan folks here, but like they probably made the immigration more of an issue to have reason to go to Venezuela to do this thing, which is like a false flag. Because what they really doing is trying to get that oil, because Venezuela finna take all that oil from
they've
like
already said that. They've
right.
already, yeah, they
So
said they basically said that out on
so
TV.
so so
I
so say
mean,
this, even the issues here, they're overblowing it to give them a reason to go chase oil money over there. You see what I'm saying? Like
and
they
I,
blow it up
and
to
Hey, hey, fellas, really quickly, let me give y'all a quick pause and we're gonna hop right in. Hey, digital N7C, we'd love for you to call in. G, I think he's on your side of it. Drop the call in link one time. You feel like you're losing IQ points. We'd love for you to just converse with us and kind of break down where we're illogical at.
call in.
Yeah, call
Yeah,
call
join
in.
the chat.
It's always interesting that we'll get the keyboard warriors, but will you call in and actually have a
It's
conversation and
because
it's
if
see
you
if what
can't
you're saying stands up to
talk to
scrutiny?
us.
follow the conversation, it's probably because you haven't read, you haven't studied, and you don't. Instead of being like, "Hey, I never heard this before," Let me go do the research. It's all of a sudden, oh, you lose an IQ point. Like you got to be really living under some type of rock to not to not know that the United States of America has destabilized every country in the Central and South America from 1940 forward. You have to really be living under a rock.
All right, fellas. With that said, we're gonna pivot again. We going random here. But this is Nick Fuentes. In this conversation around the idea of, I don't know, I think he kind of talks about black people right here. We'll see. Let's
Talk about why white people are justified in being racist.
It's not the right one on the. Oh, no, my bad.
First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them.
You stand by
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yo, he's worked on his like.
that? So
I'm
white people should
a
go
piece
out
of
their
shit
way
white man voice.
to avoid
He
black
got it
people when
down.
you see them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is what you talk,
All right.
And that
Let me
clip is
pair,
true.
let me pair this.
including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah.
What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe
they're valid
let's say
answers.
that's 5%.
You were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point. Yeah, I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. Black people agree with me because they're tired of it too.
Nick knows that that's going to be taken. Yeah. And then it's going to give him an opportunity to clarify. He knows that, and he's hoping for that opportunity. That's why he does. That's what a lot of people do, right? You have the bumper sticker and then you have the full show. He wouldn't take that back. And by the way, he doesn't need to take that back. That's not one of those comments he needs to take back when you take it in context. There are some where we see actual difference. The problem is Piers is a liberal at heart. He is a leftist at heart. And so he's playing identity politics with a guy who has already rejected it. And so is his fan base. And so when people say, oh, you're going to, well, yeah, this is the kind of interview that amplifies him because one person seems sensible and it's not Piers Morgan.
See, it's interesting. It's interesting that you reject identity politics, but then you want to identify as a racist. Like,
As a gay, as
and a misogynist,
a Christian,
and all these other identities. It's just
Yeah. So I guess
crazy.
to me this would be, I guess, a good starting point. Would be, and I just thought that this was interesting. Shout out to Sexy Beautiful Babe. She said, W Nick. And this is where, again, same thing for digital N7C, that I be trying to understand, right? Because like they'll often say, like, check the per capita numbers, fact check what I'm saying. And then when you fact check it, like if you just go to FBI and you looked up, will 5% of black people commit murder in their lifetime? It doesn't track at all. And so you look it up, and I think 0.005% will commit murder in their lifetime. But then you go to the murder rate amongst all of black population. And what is that? That's like 0.05%. It's still like, it's all less than 1%. And again, like, these are the things that you can look up on Chat GPT. You can look this up on the FBI website. And to me, it then says that there's a lot of people, in my opinion, that are just kind of going with the flow of talking points and propaganda and not actually doing the research. Because what he's misquoting is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5% of black people will be arrested throughout their lifetime. It might be arrested for, possibility of violent crime, but I think it's arrested, if I'm not mistaken. It has nothing to do with murder at all. And yeah, I'll toss this to the panel. What did y'all think?
I mean, yeah, I think. I mean, he's. I will give him this. He's smart at like playing the game, like the guy said. He'll say some wild stuff, for it to be taken out of context, and he's wanting people that like don't know the stats, don't know how to play the game, and he is
Yeah.
good at it like that. So I think you gotta be careful with a man like that. But I think the way to get him is to get under his skin is like you gotta go to the identity politics. He got like there's like a thing where it's a little button issue, and I think that's how you got to like discredit or take away his credibility from like a leader like that.
Gotcha. G, talk to us.
Yeah, I think he has clearly studied shock jock type of personalities over the years in terms of like the even like whether it be the Ben Shapiro's, the Candace Owens, the Charlie Kirks, like he clearly has done his homework, and like I said, just his voice and his tone, like he's worked on sounding like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it has a very distinct sound, and this is like we had a conversation about like activists being really quote unquote activists versus just capitalists making their money. And even though he's like the Joe Budden of conservatives because he's fully independent, no advertisers from what I understand. He might have some secret investors backing him, flowing him money, but I feel like he's playing a very calculated game in which he struck gold and capturing this younger audience with this rhetoric because just the younger generation, they aren't having as much sex. Like that is a thing. Why that is and so forth, but it's not the same, they don't have the same interest as even like our generation did growing up, the young boys. And he's just been able to take what he's captured and roll it into, a huge audience that he can live off of without even having to worry about these platforms. So I feel like he's really well media trained, and he's intentionally hyperbolic with what he says to just stir up the algorithms because he's very calculated and he knows what he's doing. And then he claims like someone like Kanye is his best friend, right? So when you start looking at the layers of like, oh, I'm not a white supremacist, but I do believe in race and race. It's too many blatant contradictions and then other things to tell me that you're probably just doing this more for what I would consider entertainment than it like do you actually even believe what you say? Because he sounds like a clown, I have to say. Like,
see, that to me, that's the part that's tricky. I do think that I don't think that he's doing it for entertainment. I guess that'd be the piece that I would say. I don't know how much, like, because if you just do a Google search, you can see that the stats are wrong. But I would also say that with him, it does seem that like the traction that he has got is not by accident. And I also think that he's tapping into a felt, and maybe I'll try and find, because you sent in a meme that kind of spoke to the idea that he is speaking to a group of people that feel discriminated against and feel unheard. And that like that is like, that's fair. That's the fair part of the whole thing. And
similar to what Trump did, basically.
Yeah, like Trump did the same thing. And so saying all that to say, yeah, I don't know, like that. When I'll give you my thought as I was kind of going through a lot of the conversation, because I watched the whole interview. I enjoyed the whole interview actually, and it made me think like, damn, maybe let me look up white on white crime. What are the white on white crime rates, right? And I think like the difference between black on black and white on white is like 7%. Like the majority of white people kill white people. Like it's wild. It's like 80 something percent of white people kill white people. It's like 89% black people, and it's like 82% white people. It's not that crazy of like a big difference. It's a lot of white on white crime that's happening. But
I mean, they had 3 assassinations like in the last year, like well 2 in an attempt,
yeah.
In an attempt.
But then I started thinking like, I think that when you look up most studies, and it says, what is the biggest predictor of crime, violent crime, or just crime in general?
Proximity.
Most people would say like socioeconomics, right? So I was like, let me look up the stats and see how do the Powites, the brother Powites, how do they do in comparison to the poor blacks, right? And it's interesting. When you go under the poverty line, poor whites commit way more crime. Well, it's not way more, but they commit more crime than blacks. When you go at the poverty line, they're pretty much equal. The difference comes in once you get like a little bit higher or whatever. And again, we can get into like the different reasons why somebody that's black and middle class or somebody that's black and upper class might have a higher crime rate. But I think that is interesting that with all that said, in those poor whites in the poverty level line, whites, they commit crimes at the same exact level. When you start thinking about when we speak about the South Side of Chicago, when we speak about going to the ghettos and how it's wild there,
Hey, Gastonia,
it seems interesting that we don't mention right. It seems interesting that we don't mention the trailer parks and the opiate epidemic that is happening, the amount of
Union
overdoses that are
County, boy,
happening, the
go
drug
Monroe.
problem.
Shit, I ain't fucking around in Monroe.
You said what?
Monroe, Gastonia, like it's rough out in them parts.
Salisbury.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Oh. All right. So with that said, that was me monologuing. Old man has joined the show, but we do have a call in that we have invited to speak. She said that she had a POV. LTO, welcome to the show. You are also my bad. Let me drop 2 nominations. I don't know if y'all nominated, but y'all nominated. Johnny, what's the tag? What's the tag?
The awards nobody asked for, but everyone deserved.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh man, you are nominated. Oh man, you're nominated for call in of the year. Yeah. Old man don't necessarily hop in the chat as much. I don't recognize his name, but old man, he call in about every episode, and he give us the conversation that we need. LTO is a chat room warrior, and she is nominated for Chatter of the Year. It's gonna be competitive. Again, in Chatter of the Year, we got some guys in there. Or saying that non-sexually. We got LTO, we got TBI, we got the Fat Boys. We have who else we got? Johnny, talk to me. We got
Trey gotta be in there.
We got it's a new one that just recently been coming up, Jaguar or something like that. Yeah, we got it. It's competitive. But then call in. We talking Unc, he's another nominee. You got Steve. Oh my bad, I forgot Steve with the chat too. You got Steve. You got Old Man. You got Trey. Like it's heavy hitters. This is like album of the year. Call in of the year is album of the year criteria. With that said, don't let me filibuster anymore. LTO, welcome to the stage. Talk to us.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying I don't agree with Nick Fuentes' ideology or anything like that.
Okay.
I've worked in restaurants for the past 18 years, and I've worked around a lot of Black people, a lot of white people, a lot of Hispanic people, and I like rap, so I've always had a common ground kind of with everybody that worked in the kitchen. So I don't believe in like white supremacy or anything like that, personally.
Here we go. Talk to us. This one to get good right here.
Nick Fuentes, you have to understand a little bit about Nick Fuentes' background before like really understanding like what happened in this interview, because he started to do kind of like he started to be like a personality, or tried to be, in like 2016 or 17. He was really young and he was going to college, and he had put out a tweet questioning Israel, something about Israel.
Yeah, the Ben Shapiro black.
Yeah. So he was banned off of like everything. He wasn't even allowed to use like banking, like Bank of America. He was on a no-fly list, like all this.
Yeah, but to be fair, LTO, there's steps that happen from
Oh,
Ben Shapiro blackball and then him getting banned and no banking.
I know.
Yeah,
I
just
know.
making
I
sure because it
used
sounded
to.
like when you said it, it was like he sent out the tweet and then he banned him from everything. It
No,
was
no.
a lot of like extreme rhetoric between that and there. But yes, we see that.
This
keep
is
tracking.
just
We
a
walking with you
quick generalization. You know what I mean?
for sure.
This interview was probably the worst idea. I don't know why anybody encouraged him to do it. It was just for whatever people thought about him, the general public that watched this, their opinion had to have been 20 times worse. I mean, this is a really, really bad look for him. It was kind of a bad look for Piers too, but it's really just.
Think so?
Yeah, definitly. I think that.
So I guess I got a couple questions. So, well,
Okay.
first, you said it was a bad look for Pierce. What talk through that real quick.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't really watch a lot of Piers stuff, so I don't know if he
Okay.
just, like you said, he's kind of like a gotcha type of.
A little bit, and he just hosts a lot of, like, most of his shows are based around debate, where he brings on really strong opinions from the left and really strong opinions from the right, and they just debate. That's kind of his big shtick. And then if he has an individual interview, typically he's going to take the opposing side, and if you have like some things in your background, he's going to bring up the skeletons.
Yeah, which is not good for somebody like Nick Fuentes because it was obviously activated, and he's one of those people where obviously he's going to be on the defense because he feels like he was wronged by all these people, all the media and everything like that. So when he is asked these questions by Piers, he is like, oh, I'm going to show this, this dude, like, I'm going to be as extreme as possible. So thinking that he's like looking cool or looking better, but it doesn't. It just makes him look like an asshole. And he is an asshole.
But let me, I was about to say, let me ask you this. So if you're familiar with his content,
yeah, I'm
then
familiar with
what would you say that, this is my opinion, and then I'll ask you your opinion. My opinion is that he's been on, let's say, like he's been on Tucker. He's been on a few different close to mainstream or mainstream
Tommy G.
And typically his route has been to give a very sanitized version of who he is and what his rhetoric is, to where it is palatable to more people. But at the same time, if that same day you go to his actual live stream, he's dropping the hard R. He's dropping, like every version of everything that he said plus more on like his actual real stream that same day. And to me, I would ask, I guess I'll start with, what is your opinion? Do you think that he showed anything different than what you have already heard from him every time that he's on his own individual live stream?
I think lately his streams have been more toned down, but at the same time, I listened to some of his stream the other night talking about Candace Owens, and it was not toned down at all. What I want to say really is that I don't think that I would not take this interview as some kind of generalization of what the right message or ideals or theology is, because I just don't think that even the average person, would not agree with a lot of the things that he's saying. You know what I mean? I think that people, when they're looking to watch something, like, what are you going to watch? Are you going to watch a documentary on freaking, like
Diddy?
What? Or no, not Diddy. Like something boring, like industrialization or something, or like how steel's made. Or are you going to watch Nick Fuentes going off like a crazy person because it's entertainment? I mean, people are going to watch the entertainment.
I'm going to watch industrialization.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, but I'm boring. But like people generally.
So LTL, let me ask you this question.
The hyped version,
I understand it. But I also would get. All right, so I'll ask you this question before I go into like a monologue. what is so you watch him and you've looked at some of his streams. What is a point that he states that what are some points that he states that you agree with?
I don't really know how much of his points that I necessarily like agree with.
Is there any point that you can point to that you agree with?
Not really, because when you listen, he sounds like a little boy. You know, I feel like he kind of got stuck in this like level of like emotional immaturity, like that he just can't get past, like is like the kid that was picked on, you know, in high school or whatever. I will say that he does mention that like his views on relationships and like being with women and stuff like that is not the norm, and he does encourage his like people that follow him to get married and have kids and get jobs and go to, you know, universities and blah blah whatever. It's really contradicting because he says that he's starting a foundation, you know, the America First Foundation or whatever, and he's, you know, the other stream that I heard him the other night said, why can't liberals and right wingers just get together and just get stuff done? Like, why can't, he's like, I'm willing to look past certain things, you know, from the left if they could accept certain things from the right and we could just work together and get it done. And then, you know, the next day he's like going off on Candace Owens saying the hard R. Like you said, it's hard to understand what his ideals are really about. But like I said, I wouldn't use him necessarily as like a general like look of what right wing.
So I guess,
You know,
I understand what you're saying, and we're gonna build to that. But so I guess I'll react to see if you can give me any of. All right, so I maybe it'd be easier if I point to some spaces. Is there anything that he says about, let's say, the small? What's like the proper way to say the people from Israel? Is there anything
The Israeli government, the Israeli government,
the Israeli government? There we go. That you agree with? That seems to be like a really big piece of contention that he has.
I agree with the fact that it shouldn't be illegal, or you shouldn't get arrested for talking about the Holocaust in Europe. You know what I mean? I think that that's kind of, you know,
like general freedom of speech
insane.
part, but what about
Yes.
like the death tolls or anything like that?
I mean, no, I think that
Do you think that
people are
Hitler is?
allowed to have
I
their
think
own
he said
opinion, but I
he's
don't agree.
quote unquote effing cool. Do you think that he's effing cool also, or
No,
maybe
I
yes,
mean,
no?
no, actually, I heard that he had like a little dick and like
He felt he couldn't get into art school and shit.
yeah. I mean, he's kind of like a special ed, but I mean, no, I don't, and I think that most people would agree with that. You know, I think that he was just trying to be over the top with that.
But to say he's being over the top, it's not something that he's not said repeatedly, though. Correct.
Correct. Yeah. No.
And that's all right. So let's keep going. So I don't want to make this too long of a like.
It's okay. Yeah. No,
but,
I don't either.
But so what about? Is there anything when it comes down to? Again, he's stark against race mixing, which I guess you have to innately be against, right? Because previously, like you said, your guy's Asian, correct?
Yeah, and he was an illegal, and I have a half Asian daughter. You know, so
how do you? All right, so let's start there, and then we'll go to the black shit. So like he has really strong immigration takes and race mixing takes. Yeah, is there anything that you agree with that?
No, and no, I don't agree with that because I love my husband and I love my daughter, and I don't necessarily think. Now, do I think that people should come into the country the proper way? Yes. Do I think there's, you know, nuances to that? Yeah. Do I think that it was a good idea to leave the border open for, you know, 4 years? No, I don't think that was a good idea. And there's
like the basics like that we all agree on with immigration. I think we all agree on like everything you said.
Yeah. And I don't really watch this dude very much, but Julian Dory has an interview with Tyler Oliveira that's like super interesting to watch, and he talks a lot about Indians. and migration over here is super interesting. I would suggest anybody watch that. But like I said, I just think that people probably watch Nick for entertainment. I know there's people that follow him, and I think that it's really hard to get a real idea of what he is trying to do. But if he wanted to make a certain look like he's been making on these other podcasts, like Jake, what is his name? Jake Shields or whatever, Tommy G, like there's a few other ones too. Like this was not a good idea. You know what I mean? This
Got
is
you.
not
And
going to
so
make
LTO,
people
let me
think
ask you the
anything else.
last question that I guess like I've been like tracking the bill too. Is there anything with, and again, listen, this is a safe place.
Yeah.
This is the To Be Fair show / the G podcast. And is there anything with the race based I guess takes that he have that you agree with?
I wouldn't say that I agree with them, but I will say that if you're looking at Chicago, like there's a lot of crime in Chicago, right?
Okay.
Compared to somewhere, in the middle of nowhere, where I live, where the crime rate's not that high. And people can make up statistics and tell whatever they can make up statistics on whatever they want. Okay. So if you're looking at the crime rates in bigger cities and stuff like that, then maybe the percentage of Black people that commit crimes is higher. Gang violence is huge in Chicago. Do I think that people should be afraid when they're walking down the street when they see a Black person? No. Do I think
so? Can I ask you a quick question as we're having like
and I'll be done. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're cool. What do you think the biggest predictor, even if we say like in Chicago, of somebody being involved in committing like any of these crimes? Like so if specifically like he's talking about like the south side of Chicago, maybe he talks about the west side a little bit too, but let's say the south side of Chicago. What do you think that the biggest predictor of crime is in? Yeah, I guess I'll leave that. Is it that they're Black or like what do you think?
No, I think that people commit crimes everywhere, and I don't have any experience with going to Chicago, so I can't really speak on that. But I mean, I'm a girl. I wouldn't really be walking down any city street like alone. You know what I mean? But I just feel like everything's a vibe. Like, I mean, anybody can seem sketchy. You just stay away from sketchy people. If you commit crimes, then you should, atone for them or whatever. But once you do your time, you know what I mean, then you did your time. There's nothing that we
and
can
I guess
do
what I was
eliminate
building
crime,
Got you. What I guess what I was building and begging the answer to was that the biggest predictor of crime is typically poverty.
Yeah.
And if you look at the south side of Chicago, this is where the projects are. So typically you're going to have high crime in dense populations where there is low income. No matter what, like if you go to the favelas, if you're going, like you can go inside Europe, you can go anywhere where there's dense populations and there is poverty, crime tends to happen.
This is why I don't understand. This is like where I guess, I have that, hippie, like everybody love everybody view is that I just think that if you commit crimes, then you should go to jail or you should pay for them. It doesn't matter if you're what you are, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, we agree with
this. You suck.
Right.
I just don't think that for me, I don't think that there's like a huge difference between white and Black crime. I think that there is a difference on type. You know what I mean? But I don't know. So I don't think that I should really speak on that. But I just don't know. And I think that you're right. Because I've been to a lot of poor white trailer parks and people all on food stamps, stealing shit, selling their cards for money.
All I will say is that according to the FBI statistics that track crime and income, they say that the trailer parks, like the poor whites that's at poverty and under, they actually commit more crime.
Yeah, that doesn't
It's just
surprise
not
me.
it doesn't have the same stigmatization. But before I pass it on, we have a newcomer that's popped up. We have old man that's been sitting here to give his opinion. But before I do that, I'll toss to Johnny G. If y'all have any commentary for LTO before.
I just got one question.
Okay.
And it ain't bad, but because I actually agree with some of what LTO said about I'm the juice worth the squeeze guy, but I think where people like where we have an issue with what he's saying like is like, do you think it's dangerous what he's saying, like, or the influence of what he's saying, like on both sides, like the perception of black people and like even like creating like white people or young white guys that might believe a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, yes, that's why I said this was a terrible. This was just a terrible interview, and I wouldn't want anybody to think that this is like something to model their behavior by or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this was bad. This was really, really bad. And anybody who's saying that Nick took a dub, won on this is insane.
The one thing I will say is that I think it just highlights, it's one of those things where it's like a dog whistle. It's interesting to me that how polarizing the takeaways are. There are people who watch this and say Pierce made an ass of himself and Nick Fuentes killed him throughout the whole conversation. And then there's the other side who see Nick Fuentes as, racist, misogynist, like crazy rhetoric. And so I feel like ultimately it does highlight that he does represent at minimum, a very loud minority that seems to not just be loud, but growing. Pause.
Yeah, and it sucks. It really sucks. But I agree with you. It's odd to me to see but it's like that with the media though. A lot of things are like, oh, this person, unleashes on this person or whatever, and then you watch the video and it's like it's not really that,
Yeah, everything has become so tribal. It's similar like with Trump supporters. Like if you support Trump, it really doesn't matter what he does. You're going to look at it and find the silver lining for Trump. And I think the Nick Fuentes crowd has a similar sort of backing, and it's growing.
Gotcha. All right, fellas, and ladies. So I want to toss to old man, and then we're gonna go to the newcomer. I don't even want to say how to say what it is. Maybe it's SME Slapper.
Go to the newcomer. Go to the newcomer.
All right, we'll go to the newcomer first. SME Slapper. Talk to us. What is your thoughts?
Oh, hey, my bad. I was just doing some on Chrome. This is my first time watching. I really have no idea what's going on. So, I mean, I just,
Yeah, just open conversation.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just here because I was trying to see the comments and stuff that you guys were on the screen, but there's not really anything that's on the top of my mind. But I mean, if you guys wanted to spearhead something.
So right now, I guess we were most recently speaking about I imagine, or maybe you have seen the Piers Morgan Nick Fuentes interview. What is in general your take on Nick Fuentes and his POV? Again, he spoke about his POV when it came down to immigration, when it came down to race mixing, black people and their level of criminality, and I think the people from Israel,
women as well.
Yeah, wherever you want to kind of start at, we'll take it there.
Well, I guess I've always really hated Nick Fuentes. I hate a lot of this anti-immigration rhetoric that's happened. Like I myself am like a leftist, so I've just been I've been paying a lot of attention to the strife that's been going on within the right wing, but the idea that immigration is bad just at all really is just not accurate. We need immigration in order to boost the economy. I just think it's really only an opinion based on racism, and there isn't really any actual economic data that seriously proves that immigration is a net harm. It's really all it is an emotional ploy to get people to vote right, get people to be right, and it's just an emotional position to take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, yeah, matter of fact, I'll talk to the panel. What did y'all take on that? Is immigration? That's kind of one of the tricky ones. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to y'all real quick. I don't know if we have any differing opinions. I wasn't expecting SME Slapper to be a leftist, but this is fire.
Hey, where you
I
calling
like
from, bro?
I'm in Seattle.
Okay.
West Coast. Shout
Yeah.
out to the West Coast. Okay, but I mean, I do think a lot of the immigration and talking points are emotionally driven.
Yes.
I think most of our policies are emotionally. We were just talking about anger, fear.
Mhm.
It's a good selling tool. Is emotion. So I definitely believe like people do use that to like on both sides though. I think it's a trick on both sides. But I can't see where some of the immigration is an issue, but I do believe that like we're a country built on immigrants and
Of course,
I
yeah. I
see,
mean,
I see, I see their value for sure, but I think it can't be unchecked either. I don't believe in 100% open borders, so I think there is a logical answer, which sometimes it should be a little more open, sometimes it should be a little more
Yeah,
closed based
SME,
on
are you an
situation.
open borders type of person, or like what is your general thought on the policy?
I am I'm not an open borders person. Really only because I also believe in a lot of socialized institutions, nationalizing things. And so if there were open borders, that would lead to some sort of economic issues for sure.
Yeah.
But I am interested. There is a book that I wanted to read about open borders and the argument for it.
Mhm.
So
Can you shout
yeah,
it out just so that people know what you're talking about?
yeah, let's see. It's called The Case for Open Borders.
Okay,
Let's
that's
see.
pretty straightforward.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we'll tap
It's
in.
like
No. Yeah. I
by
think that.
John Washington.
Yeah. I think that. Actually, we actually have our resident socialist on the panel right now, Steve.
Yeah.
To where we tend to dive into a bit of we got a couple capitalists up here as well, but we do tend to dive into a bit of the socialism, communism, whether socialist democratic socialist or social democracy, or what I mean, we do have some strong, we're gonna go completely Marxist, and we got some strong capitalists. These are conversations that we tend to enjoy here. But I guess if we're going back to the Nick Fuentes, what is, if you was to say a strong disagreement or agreement, do you have any agreements that he with him? I guess that's the first place to start at.
Well, the thing with Nick Fuentes is that there are certain aspects about him that I appreciate. First and foremost, that he is splitting the right. I think that is a very positive sign for anyone on the left to see that this sort of infighting has been taking place. There's a lot of disagreements over MAGA. I like that Nick Fuentes takes a more populist approach than a lot of other people. And
Mhm.
a lot of his opinions. The thing is, Nick Fuentes doesn't feel like a very principled person. He just kind of goes where the wind blows, and it's kind of based on,
Popular. Yeah.
Nazism, populism. He's even kind of said it himself. Like I believe Piers said, like, "What do you like about Nazism?" And he said, like, "Oh, the cool outfits," and like,
Yeah, it was very, very dumbed down what he actually liked about him.
yeah. And so that's the thing is, like, was it a joke? Was it not? That's probably his intention, is for people to
Mhm.
think of it that way. Is like, but he's just generally he's a divisive figure on the right. But I do agree, of course, that Israel does pose issues within U.S. politics. There's absolutely no denying that.
So you're
But
not
to
a
the
fan of Abraham.
extent,
I got you.
that Nick Fuentes says absolutely not. So, I actually do appreciate some aspects about Nick Fuentes, but really, it feels gross to say that at the end of the day for
Gotcha. Do
me.
you believe in the horseshoe theory?
Horseshoe theory, that like the more radical that you get, the closer you become, on opposing sides.
Yeah. I feel like Israel is a part of that, where both radical sides tend to agree on Israel. That's like one of the agreement points.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say horseshoe theory necessarily applies, because there are a lot of differences between a dislike for Israel. Like, you can come to a similar conclusion with entirely different reasons.
Yeah. I agree with that part, but that's kind of like a piece of the theory, right? Is that the extremes end up pushing you to the same point. This is the same way that right now you see Trump embracing certain pieces of socialism. Yeah, like Mandani, but socialism. If you think about tariffs and tax redistribution, where who's getting tariffed, and then who is he saying is going to get that $2,000 check?
I'm getting mine.
This is socialism. If you actually think about it, it's the horseshoe. But
he got 2 weeks to drop him too, man.
I do think the two. Were there any like developments on the $2,000 check?
Nah.
That's the thing.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope
I
alive.
need my check, man.
We need that.
Hey,
I mean, I wish he was not lying, but like, no, he most certainly is. It's he's failing in the polls.
He's just dangling.
Yeah. That's crazy though.
Yeah, listen, if you love to stay on, stay on. We're gonna bring up old man.
Yeah.
You might no, listen, we appreciate it. Again, we here every Wednesday. Call-ins are always welcome. If you want to turn your camera on, you can always do that too. But like these are the conversations we like to dive into. Sometimes you might agree with us, sometimes you might disagree, but that's kind of what we're here for, to be fair and just have real conversations. Old man, what's going on, brother?
What's up? I don't even know why this guy's a topic on your show or anybody's show. I mean, if we didn't have this technology, nobody would know who he is. But it's as long as he's
he got a movement, old man.
Exactly, but if
he's counterproductive to the reparations.
In the right.
Whatever's keeping him busy and keeping him away from schools and doing that pew-pewing, that's fine with me. That's who this guy is to me. This dude is a nobody. He's a pew-pew guy, and if he
pew guy,
he can stay in his basement and talk all he wants on the internet with his crew, but just keep it that way. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So as far as the immigration thing, I think I think everybody pretty much on the same page, here and there,
But no, oh man, you don't fuck with it at all, I thought. Or am I wrong?
No, no.
Immigration
is we need it, but you can't have open borders. Like what just happened these last 10 to 5 years is unbelievable. It's crazy. You can't do that.
Right. Okay, yeah, I forgot you weren't an extremist.
No, I'm not an extremist.
FBA extremist.
No, shoot. I used to like immigrants before last year.
FBA really?
Before last year, that's hilarious.
Nick Fuentes is an immigrant. This is what's crazy. He's an immigrant talking about like
he's a son.
He really a off-white. He not even a white. He not even like a true Anglo. He
not purebred wasp.
Yeah, he don't got the blonde blue eye. Like he don't really he a mutt.
Well, I guess speaking to
he a mutt.
LT, I'm gonna check this out. But speaking to I guess what y'all are saying with less strong language, that Piers Morgan did kind of speak to him and press him about that. The idea that in general, both sides of your family are immigrants and you're anti-immigration. Your existence is a product of American immigration, and how counterproductive that ends up being when we start talking about no immigration at all and only immigrating from the WASP countries. I guess it's time to pull up another meme.
I just got to say this. Okay. So immigration, even if the numbers are like they are today, if you're immigrating over to take over the United States and change the identity and the culture of the United States, that's a no-go 100%. That's not going to happen. And you can't have that mindset. Now, the people who have been cheating and stealing money, that's another no-go. So it's not about just straight immigration. I hate that all these channels try to put it was immigration. No,
it's just no Somalis.
Yeah, it's a type of people that are immigrating to America to take it over, to disrupt America as much as they can, and take advantage of the country as much as they can, and ultimately destroy the country. And
do you have a word for those people?
I'll take what's my man's word, the invasive man, but I know what you're talking about. They're an invasive group of people, but I know who you're talking about.
Man. That's post game talk. That's post game talk.
I haven't heard the word in so long, man. I think we gotta let one drop. I ain't heard a word in so long, man. Like,
man,
do you think
supports? I haven't heard that T word.
Trying to cover my words, saying pew pew and stuff like that. So I'm trying.
We corporate. We corporate.
We are corporate. Announcements coming soon. All right. So with that said, we'll go to another one. This is one that kind of is opinion based. I'll go to one that's opinion based on the other side in a second. I'll push play. We can just listen, see where he goes with it.
The conclusion that there was any outcome determinative fraud that would have changed the results of the election. So with that in mind, let's hear how Piers tries to walk this tightrope.
To him, to his face,
I agree.
The argument he should have said is that the deliberate suppression of things like the Hunter Biden laptop scandal from the media, by social media, by big tech, was actually a deliberate attempt to subvert the result of the election.
Now, again, Piers has no evidence of that. This is where Piers always loses the debate, where he tries to throw Trump a bone. Piers has no evidence, none, zilch, zero, that there was any sort of collusion between big tech and anybody to suppress a story that was politically damaging to President Biden to cost Trump the election. Now, it is true that the New York Post story, which was kept as an October surprise by Rudy Giuliani, a bad faith attack in the 11th hour of the election, that it was briefly suppressed by Twitter because it felt it violated Twitter's terms of service. It included non-consensual images of Hunter Biden that are nude, for example, right? And as the Twitter files, the so-called Twitter files, were examined years later, mountains of evidence, emails, and correspondence about the people who enforce the terms of service going back and forth. Like, should we do this? Should we not do this? It feels like this violates TOS, but maybe it doesn't. There was like hefty good faith debate behind the scenes about this issue. So Piers is being incredibly reductive and dishonest here when he suggests that there was some sort of grand conspiracy in the private sector to prevent Trump from winning power. There's no evidence of that.
And that's a much better argument because it's undeniable. When the New York Post that had that exclusive were basically shadow banned off all social media.
Again, no evidence. No, that's not a good argument. There was no evidence that they did this to try to swing the election for Trump. They thought that it was Russian propaganda and a TOS violation.
For the 2 weeks before the election, that was an absolute disgrace. And if I was Donald Trump, I would focus on that as being my main argument that that election was slanted against him. When he goes off into saying that there was widespread rigging and voter systems were wrong, we've litigated all this now through various court cases. Various Republican judges have ruled there was no rigging of that kind. In fact, the American election system is accepted by most people around the world as being one of the best in the world, one of the most reliable. So I just think he fought the wrong argument. If he said the deliberate suppression of damaging stories to the Bidens, which could have swung the election, was outrageous and unacceptable, I'm 100% behind it. But by building this spurious argument that it was all rigged through voting systems and so on, he lost me.
So again,
all right,
yo,
what did y'all take on
I just
it?
want to say,
this goes back to the whole conversation around what is it? 2 million immigrants voting, the rigged voting system. What is your thoughts, fellas?
I just want to say, I think Nick Fuentes has at least like he must have at least like 2 or 3 black escorts that he fucks on a regular basis. I'm thinking
Nick.
I think he do.
Yeah, that's he is the prime example why we should.
I think he got maybe like 2 consistent black BBWs that he.
I don't know.
That he
Nah,
keep in the
he
closet.
probably got-
I think that he sounds like
there's something here.
It ain't no woman. It ain't no woman.
Yeah, all funny, bro.
It ain't no woman. You might be onto something, but it ain't no woman.
Listen, him and Destiny, there's rumors.
It ain't no woman.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, but real quick, when has voting ever been legit and never rigged in America?
What do you mean by rigged?
It was
They've
always
always
Jim Crow South.
Yeah, they've always manipulated the votes in one favor or another.
Redistricting,
everything.
Gerrymandering.
But I guess it's more of like a systematic thing where yes, I understand like
dead people be voting.
Like yeah, I don't know. You're asking when would say it one more time. When has it been a time that in general in America that voting system hasn't been rigged? So you think that every election in the past 20 years has been rigged?
In not just past 20 years of
but if we just follow it to last 20 years.
Through the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, every voting has been rigged. It's no doubt about it.
Okay, so you're not a fan of
rigged, meaning it just hasn't been
fair. Somehow, some way, somebody's figured out a way to get through the system, manipulate the system in their favor. I mean, what electoral?
So you think that George Bush rigged the election also?
Having electoral votes oversee the vote of every person is a way of rigging the vote.
It is.
Right, but that's more systematic than it actually being rigged, I guess is what I'm saying. Like
that's what I'm saying. More so he's saying it's not a fair system than he's saying, I think is what he's saying.
And that's kind of what I was going to get to. And that's what I was going to ask. So do you think that George Bush had a rigged election?
Yes.
Yeah, I think every election.
Yeah, well, like the bubble chads and shit. Y'all remember that?
GW? You talking about the Gore, or you talking about when he ran it back in 04?
Wait, I thought 04 wasn't Gore. I think 04 was Gore, wasn't it?
Gore was
that was 2000, and that was rigged.
Was 2000, right? The first Gore was 2000.
Who was our candidate?
I'll tell you this: Ross Perot should have won.
20? No, was it 2000?
But it was rigged.
Gore was 2024.
He might have lost both of them, but Gore.
Nah, the second one was John Kerry, won't it?
Maybe. I guess.
Damn, we old, bro. God damn it.
Yeah, maybe.
but you got to think about it. Clinton went back to back, and then Gore ran on a Democratic ticket right after that.
And Florida was the big issue.
It was a thing.
The bubble chads or something like that.
Something nonetheless.
I'll tell you this: the voting is the least of my worries right now. I think what happened last year was a sample test, and nobody is still really complaining about what went down. How they completely just skipped the voting process and said, "F it, we nominate who we want anyway, so we're gonna nominate this person."
Wait, what you talking about specifically?
He talking about lost though.
But they lost, so they like if you win with that strategy, maybe.
But
I think that was just a sample, though.
No. But even before that, the thing about the Democratic Party, which is interesting, is that they did this to Bernie Sanders too when he was running against Hillary with the Democratic primaries. They have a similar thing where the popular vote doesn't equal where the delegates give their vote.
Follow the super delegates. It don't follow the money.
What do they call it? Super delegates? Someone to say?
Just exactly. Yeah. So to that point. Like it wasn't last year. Like the system is inherently, we could call it rigged, but it's just inherently not set up to represent like 1-to-1 votes or represent the people voting.
It's skewed in order to entrench the power of the status quo. And if you look at the primary, particularly the primaries, the Republicans process starting, like if you look at 2016, their process is a much more easier process and for like outsider to win. That's why Trump wins versus the Democrats. One we can say all we want to say about Democrats, but them niggas understand procedure and you know, not rigging per se, but they understand the rules and how to use process in order to get the results that they like want, you know. And you know, they've been able to do that, you know, for a while. But you know, you've come to the point where the results that you getting are not in alignment with the base, and now it's, you know, it's falling apart. You know what I'm saying? So because they even proposing doing ranked choice voting in this upcoming primary. So if they do ranked choice voting in the upcoming primary, you get very different results. You could vote for whoever you want to vote for. You
Yeah, I
know,
think ranked choice voting would be kind of crazy for America, like in general. Yeah, well, I mean, like America does it, and like New York had ranked choice voting, but I guess when we talk, when we're thinking about presidents, I think that would be kind of a very interesting take on doing it.
you know, because then nobody could be like, oh well, you wasted your vote. Well, I vote for my number one guy. And then if my number one guy don't make it past the ballot, well, who do you like? What's the rank of the how you actually like the candidate? And if you don't like the candidate at all, you don't rank them. You know, I
Yeah,
think
no,
people
like I said,
gotta.
it'll be interesting. It's almost like a damn. I guess I don't know why we didn't do this during election season, but ranked choice voting is almost its own topic because like
Yeah, I don't even know if I understand what it actually entails, but that's like maybe it might be a different episode.
Yeah, you know, a good 30 minutes. That'd be a 30-minute sidetrack if we start talking about that.
It's like what the NBA does to select the All Stars. You know,
or I don't know. Do
like
the NBA do that?
whoever gets the most first place, right? Isn't that how ranked choice voting is? It's like,
Well,
if you have
but
three
but
choices,
it also takes in it takes in consideration your second and third and fourth place votes also.
Oh, that's more like how they do MVPs, not All Stars.
yeah,
Like,
MVP. There you
yeah,
go.
like how they do
Yes.
MVP votes or all defense stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you go in and you don't just vote for a candidate, you rank 1, 2, 3, and then they have a system with total points at the end that
Yeah. And it'll show you at the end, it'll be like such and such had 500 first place votes, and he had 200 second place votes. And that adds up to whatever that formula is. And then whoever, but the kind of
yeah,
the
I
rule,
wouldn't agree with that personally.
but the kind of the rule is like the way they run it in New York is nobody can win it without 50% of the vote. Like, you know, because if it's not 50% of the vote, people wouldn't view it as
But
like
then you wouldn't need ranked choice voting.
it create a new it create a new like it go to something different if nobody got 50%. It go to like a straight runoff or some shit like that. So like if nobody hit that 50% of the number,
And that's when they had the special elections.
they got to have like this other type of process in order to have a vote in which somebody win with 50, you know, 50%.
But what I'm saying is, in theory, because like even if you got typically, especially like a New York situation, it's gonna be more than 2 candidates on the ticket, right? So, but let's say like you said, you get the majority, you get over 50 of the votes. At that point,
you win. You win because
right? Yeah.
you've overwhelmingly won on the ranked choice vote. It wouldn't even matter the way the calculations work. If somebody hit over 50% of the first place
then ranked
vote,
choice don't matter.
they won already. So if
And
somebody
if
got
nobody
50,
get 50%, then they default.
that's when you go to that's when you go to the rank. That's when you go to the rank.
Okay.
So if you win with 50% of the vote off the first ballot, which Mamdani won on the first ballot. They didn't have to go to the second ballot. They didn't have to go to the third ballot. He won on the first ballot because he had 50% of the vote. Because there's no way those other choices could win if he already got 50% of the first place votes.
Gotcha. I guess maybe this is a good time to hop into another meme. I'm trying to find where is it at that I'm looking for. My bad, fellas. Again, this is a great time to make sure that you like, subscribe. Make sure that you tap into. We are streaming now on 2 channels. It is the G Axis Media page. It is the To Be Fair Show page. So again, if you're looking up and you see whatever the live chatters is, it's multiple spaces. This is a community. This is a group. Shout out to Unc. Unc was in here earlier. He's dropped off. I'm sure he'll come back in a little bit. It's a tribe. This is the Unpacked tribe, and Yeah, like I said, we're streaming on both places right now. I'm gonna share another meme. Like I said, we're starting to just go through some of the conversations to bruh the 8101.
Hey, why you son Johnny like that?
I'm my bad. I got you, Johnny.
Why is people asking, are we conservative? We conservative. We conservative in some ways, and we not.
No, we fair. We fair.
Steve, you're not conservative about
Oh
nothing.
no, I do. Nah, I don't think y'all ever heard my I do have a conservative ideology. Like gambling would be banned. OnlyFans would be banned. Porn would be banned. I talk about this in the chat all the time. Like that stuff would be banned in my world.
It's a couple things you just you
so women can't sell that pussy?
No, it's degeneracy. It's like that's degenerate.
What a misogynist.
That's degeneracy, bro.
You want to control the women's bodies? They can't even sell their pussy. What a misogynist. That is crazy.
Bro, we can't get the corn.
Sex workers. You believe in free labor, but they can't sell that pussy.
No, because I don't believe. I believe women having. I feel like women having to resort to selling their body is a byproduct of a system that has failed. That's what I feel personally. So I do. I like people think just because.
But what if she like just
that pussy got a market?
Nah, man.
But fuck the market. What if she just like doing
that's like one of like the
like she just got free time and she want to sell a box.
Nah, man. I don't believe in that. Like
she can't just want to sell a box. She can't be liberal.
Nah,
enough
man.
to just want to like.
I got some.
What if she just
what if you give it away for free?
Like,
but this is my thing. People
want to be hoes with no bread. Like,
oh man. But look, I think in the better world you wouldn't have to do that, bro.
They just give
you
it
can't
up.
Want it like in a better world. Why in a better world she can't?
Because in a better world they
because
give it up.
I think
government paid housing.
I think the material condition.
They wouldn't need no money. They got.
I think the material condition is creating the necessity to pop your box on the internet.
I get it.
If the material conditions was good, nobody would be popping box on the internet.
Fuck for rent.
I
got it.
Steve, let me ask you this. So, if the material conditions were at, like just a decent prerequisite, would females still be freaks?
Yeah. They would. They would just be. They would just be freaks. They would just be freaks with their husbands that they are married to.
So if the material conditions allow it, they would only want one man.
I think if we improve the material conditions, we reduce alienation, and we create the conditions in which women and men can get in fulfilling relationships. They would have freaky sex. Like that's just because.
So Steve, can the women show more than their eyes when they leave the house?
Yes, they can. I just don't think we should be creating a world in which people selling coochie on the internet. Like,
I guess I'm still. I think that we stumbled.
I believe in free enterprise.
But,
see, that's your problem. See, the capitalism, y'all niggas ain't got no morals, man. Y'all niggas ain't got no morals.
But Steve,
I don't dictate others' morals. That's all I'm saying. It's your body, it's your choice. That's what I believe.
So Steve, in general, you think that females only want to get popped by more than one guy because of the material conditions of the world?
No, listen. Let me backtrack because I've made this point. I made this point many times. I think the market has a way of influencing.
Niggas want to pay
the people.
Also, hey Steve, don't ignore my dog, Bruddy 8101. He's
yes, they should, bro. I already said they should be able to vote. They citizens. They should be able to vote. Yeah, I've already said that. But I'm just talking about and this is. And for women, it's OnlyFans. For men, it's gambling. It's just some things I think are a net negative on society.
You ain't hit that 6
I feel. Listen, I'm not for gambling, but if she want to be a freak with a camera in front of her, I ain't stopping.
See, look, y'all. That's why the movement. That's why the movement can't get nowhere.
Let me gamble if she can be on OnlyFans though.
If she want to bust that thing open for free. If you don't have no problem with that, why can't she not make a few dollars?
So it could be for free though, Steve, right?
It should be with your husband, your significant other.
Oh, you really? So Steve, what? So she should say that thing like a. Should she have like one of them
I'm
belts?
not look. I'm not saying I don't believe.
Chastity belts.
I believe
Steve,
it. I
so
believe
are you talking about arranged marriages?
I believe people should have casual sex. I believe people should have free, but I'm talking about the commodity. Look, I
so
think
Steve, she can have more than one body, then, right?
she can. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
more than one.
commodification of sex. I'm talking about the commodification of it. I don't have a problem with sex per se, but the commodification of it is degenerate.
No,
Steve,
I disagree.
can I ask you something? Steve,
Look,
can I ask you something?
Yes.
You said that gambling is a problem, right? Amongst men. And sex is a problem amongst women as far as in that right there. But aren't you taking a gamble when you marry a woman?
No, that's not a gamble.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes, you playing the lottery. You might as well play the lottery. You might as well buy some scratch offs.
That's the biggest gamble you ever gonna do in the life. That's a gamble right there. Come on now, Judge Mathis' wife divorced him. They've been married 39 years. That's a hell of a gamble right there.
Look. I just
I'm just saying. Look, that's her box. She do what she want to. You know what I'm talking about? And it's the oldest, you know what I'm saying, job in the world anyway. You know what I'm saying? As far as what you saying don't sell it, but you get married. A lot of women that's married is married because the man giving up money. That's just legalized prostitution. So what's the difference?
You're gonna have to buy it one way or another.
You're gonna have to buy it another. You're paying for it one way or another. You want to keep it to yourself. You want to have that coochie to you. You don't want nobody else to have that coochie.
See, that's why nobody ain't got no Ruge, because everybody want to bust it open.
But you right about that.
They didn't roll the Ruge out for OnlyFans, man. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking out for everybody.
Save a little piece of Ruge.
I understand what you're saying. They do need that Ruge, though. They need that. They need that. So but hey, you can't make them wanna not do what they doing.
Hey man, hold on. I gotta address some comments. Put these comments up on the chat.
They coming for you, Steve.
How is not supporting degeneracy?
No. You framing it wrong, Steve. The fact that you even think selling pussy is degenerate is where we is.
Nigga, it is degenerate.
Selling
it's
pussy
the commodification of sex.
It is degenerate.
No. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. Why is selling pussy degenerate?
No, nobody's encouraging that daughter.
Okay, it's just selling sex in general. Mark's got a term called commodity
I
fetishization.
wouldn't encourage my son to join the military, but if he do, is he degenerate?
No.
I think that's apples and oranges.
You just said you wouldn't encourage. Just because you wouldn't encourage someone to do it, don't mean it's degenerate.
Right, but
you know what?
Not encouraging somebody to do something is not innately degenerate or not degenerate, but specific acts are degenerate by nature.
Not sex. Sex is not degenerate.
Agreed.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we all.
I agree. Sex
commodifying.
Sex is not
selling it for a profit and just giving your body like that's the.
Yes, I feel like
that would be a version of something that you wouldn't encourage. That is degenerate.
I think it's risky. I think it's risky.
No, I think it's degeneracy.
I think you're putting your health at risk, but you put your health at risk doing a lot of stuff. Like, what are we talking about? It's not degenerate. It's sex.
But
it's natural.
If we're looking at like the definition of degenerate, I'm pretty sure it deals with it having a negative effect on society if done at mass. So if in general everybody just had sex willy-nilly freely, we would see a degradation of society. That would be
so drinking alcohol is degenerate as well.
If you're doing it in excess, for sure. The idea of like having sex freely for profit would be.
That don't mean you just gonna run it up though, Q. You gotta
of
maintain the pussy. You can't just go bust it down like.
Hey, G, we on your
You
side.
can't just go out there and be like, you gonna have to maintain that thing over the week. You gonna have to keep.
I just think
your body. Like, you got to you can't just. It's not just gonna be free reign. It's an entry point to get in. Like if a woman is running her business, not getting beat, not getting forced to do anything that she doesn't want to do, and she's accepting that paper and going home happy that she delivered her services, that's good business.
Hey,
and I think the market, and I think the market creates those conditions and creates that ability, and the market pushes us towards, whatever we might say, make a lot of money or whatever the case may be. But the market is not necessarily pushing us towards what's moral. And in this world, if we don't have, if the government,
Steve, if you were single and a girl was just like 500, just come knock me off.
I'm not.
Quick.
This is my values. If I can't get it, if I can't get off the strength, it ain't meant to be.
No, she wants to pay you for a service.
Nah, that's degenerate. That's degeneracy.
Oh, okay.
I'd be a degenerate. Hey, 500.
That's not degenerate. It's not degenerate.
It's a recession out here.
I mean, it was just, maybe because I just.
It's okay to turn it down. You can say, no, I wouldn't do it. I'm not with that. But it's not degenerate, is my point.
So really,
but it's just like maybe because I read.
Steve, I'm coming straight to you. Bruh D 8101. He might be my new favorite. He said, but for real, Steve, you gay low key, which is cool, just a little weird. Then he says, Steve ducking. He know he a rainbow. Steve, are you married or like?
Yes, I'm married. Been married. But finna be 11 years, bro.
Y'all know Steve married. Steve always talk about his wife.
I don't believe in that type of like low level degeneracy. Because like if you go read up on the Soviet, if you go, hold on, man. If you go read up on the Soviet Union,
like they're murderers or
no. Listen. When you go read up on the Soviet Union,
Steve to jump off the cliff.
When you go read up, on the Soviet Union, when motherfucking Stalin came into power, that prostitution and shit was gone. Day one. He said, we can't be a utopian socialist society and y'all trying to commodify pussy in my...
Bro, citing what that nigga did does not move me. Like, yo, I don't want...
Hey, man, I'm just saying. Them niggas had some type of... Yo, them niggas had some type of code, bro.
For a vape pen? Didn't they have Brittany Griner locked up for a damn vape pen? Like, I don't want to live in Russia, my nigga. Like, that's not my...
I'm just talking about having some type of I just don't believe sex should be commodified. I think people should freely have as much sex as they want to.
Let me just ask just one clarifying question.
I got one question too, G.
Just because the word degenerate is what bothers me. If you are somebody who fucks freely, like as in you fuck liberally for free, are you a degenerate?
No.
See, so you telling me
the commodification of sex is what degenerate. No, so you could be
disagree. So you a hoe out here busting that thing open, or you a nigga out here just fucking any and everything moving, but you not degenerate, but you a paid sex worker with agency and a business.
I would say that they don't have agency because the
crazy.
I would say they don't have agency because who in their right mind would sell sex if the economy wasn't coercing them into that?
Steve, maybe you don't love sex the way these bitches love it.
Man, if you love sex, you do it for free. You do it for the love of the game.
It's like the same thing like strip club. Who would strip in a strip club? Like, I wouldn't do it, but it's some niggas who will strip in a strip club. It's some women who will strip in a strip club.
For the love of the game, it's not degeneracy, though, right?
It's not degeneracy. I just only have a problem. So let's remove sex. Let's take sex out of here. And I'm gonna
let me ask you this.
I got one question for Steve too, though.
Let me ask this real quick. So, at what body count number does it become degenerate?
75.
And what amount of time? And what amount of time? What amount of time?
Really quick. Let me try and do this real quick. So, I'm gonna just take you through some numbers, and then we'll see where it gets degenerate. 5.
At how much time, Q?
Nah.
At how much time? 5 in a year? 5 in a month?
No, we just going
lifetime. Let's say lifetime in her peak. In her peak.
Like
yeah, let's say lifetime. She 35. She 35. And we just saying what
got 50 bodies.
Wait.
Right,
Did she go to college?
Yeah. Unc said if she went to college, multiply by 4.
Exactly.
You gotta add 15.
All right, but
come on now.
Hey, listen, we turn it into a nigga podcast, Rick. My bad, we're going corporate. But so really, all right, she said 5. She good. 10.
10.
Oh,
she
damn.
Look. Let me.
No,
I don't think.
Down
Okay.
before you get please.
I don't think no number is degenerate. I don't think no number is
now it's not about the number. Now it ain't about the number.
I don't think no number is degenerate.
Now it's not about the number. Here we go. Hey man, where my Michael Jackson? Because this nigga moonwalking, bro.
I just only have
a
an issue. I only have an issue with the commodification of what's supposed to be, our social relationships. That's
so
the only thing.
Steve, let me ask you
But
this.
Steve, you all about the money. How can you know what I'm saying? I thought you was about that money, making that money.
Some stuff is too far from me. Some stuff, I would never let.
He said it's supposed to be for the community.
I would never let the money just supersede my, like, it's certain stuff I don't invest in, like Palantir and that type of, I don't invest in that type of stuff.
So Steve, let me ask you this. So what about if she got 3 bodies, but she sold them?
Degenerate.
But so like
if you let somebody stick their fingers in for $50, degenerate.
You got shorty that gave 100 away for free. Rugay gone. It's
Blew
3.
out.
And she only sold them 3, but that's it. You saying that Rugay gone, blown out, 100 body.
That's a better woman than somebody who sold for 3 times.
She's less degenerate than the 3 body.
Yes.
Okay.
I stand on it.
Hey Johnny, how you feel about that? What you taking? You taking 100 body, baby? Or you talking? Are you taking 3 body sold?
I mean, I go 3. So I mean, that's like new. That's like we
exactly. That's certified
like,
use right there.
Hey man, this a post game conversation. We gotta really talk about this, man. We gotta really talk about this post game.
All right.
You know it, Johnny.
All right, so I guess let me see if I can reel this in.
Y'all funny, bro. Y'all is funny, man.
Listen, we actually found our first way to get Steve to jump off the cliff, and we had to kind of stick there for a second. But I guess this would be a good segue. So really quickly, we'll do a couple icebreakers, and we didn't get the chance to do them early. Y'all wanted the topic quick, so we got to the topic, and yeah, we'll do a few icebreakers. Maybe the easiest way to start. I'll throw it. Hey, chat, talk to us. Do y'all want to go Diddy, or do y'all want to go the scammers, the Somali scammers? Chat, y'all got about like a minute. Drop them in there. Let us know what y'all thinking. We can go Somali scammers, or we can go Diddy. Talk to us. Again, we are streaming on 2 platforms right now. Make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe on both channels. Super chats are open. Make sure that y'all tap in, hit us. There is the To Be Fair show. The Tubies is coming. Stay posted for the date, but the Tubies are coming. Again, we have many nominations. Your favorite for Unpacked. Again, there's a running. We have G is nominated. Is he your guy? When we're talking about Unpacked, dropping gems, yelling at whoever. Johnny, Mr. Middle Ground, or sometimes he's conservative, sometimes he's liberal. Is he your guy? I think you muted, G.
Can't forget the empathy.
and mental health.
Hell nah. G was on here talking about he's sending the 6-year-olds to work at one point, man.
Yeah. Hey, no, that's a fact. That is a fact. Again, A Black is not here, but your favorite Pan-African in a tank top, A Black.
World
Again,
traveler.
are you rocking with A Black? Again, and we'll throw some of our past guys. Again, this is a award show in which we're celebrating all of our guys. So again, your favorite FBA tether hater, FBA Trey. Is he your guy? We do have, like if we dig in the crates, we get our guy, Alex. Is he
Throwback.
your
If you know,
guy?
you know.
If you know, you know. All right. So with that said, let me step into the chat and see what we have. We have some S's in the chat. All right, so we can go to Somali, and we can talk about that. I got a couple memes that have been sent in. I'll play a few of them, and then we'll have a conversation.
Are tracking the web of fraud to other Minnesota Democrats, such as Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Many of the suspects linked to the scheme live in her district, including a restaurant owner who hosted events for her. He has since been convicted of stealing $12 million.
So to go even further than this, back in 2020, there was about $250 million given out in state funds to feed hungry children during the pandemic. Now, that money was allegedly pocketed by a man named Salim Ahmed Saeed, who was conveniently the owner of the Safari restaurant in which Ilhan Omar held her 2018 congressional party at. And this money that was supposed to feed hungry children was only made possible because of the 2020 Meals Act, which was introduced and passed by none other than Ilhan Omar. Now, there is still no evidence that directly ties Omar to this fraud. However, considering all the evidence, there's a reason we're doing a deeper investigation into this fraud now. And how despicable, how reprehensible that you would use the money meant to feed hungry children to support your lavish lifestyle.
7 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
Omar get all that darn money from? Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nur Said Elmi. And she had a net worth of...
I ain't gonna lie, he cheat on bitches. I ain't gonna lie.
You see this nigga picture? Hey, why does look like Kamu diabolical cousin?
I thought that was Kamu, bro.
Why does look like Kamu diabolical cousin right here?
Oh, shit. All right,
approximately
we're
$65,000. Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later, Ilhan had already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name of Ahmed Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime, and she's serving in Congress. And nobody talks about this. So by 2024, Ilhan's married to a new person, a white guy named Tim. There's Tim Minette. And Tim is not a rich man, but now he is. Tim's rich now because somehow over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million and counting, meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million in 3 years. Think about that. Powerball drawing is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ilhan Omar did not win the lottery. Bernie Madoff was cheating, and he still wasn't doing that well. That is a 46,000% increase in less than 3 years. Now, how do you suppose that happened? Do you really expect us all to believe that she just played the stock market like she's got a great investor and they just got kind of lucky over the course of the Biden presidency? And why are we the only ones asking these questions tonight? So once again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that money? And why is she trying to make Americans feel bad for Somalian criminals?
See, this is why Steve don't want women selling that box.
If women could sell that box, she wouldn't have to defraud the people.
This was so funny about this. This was so funny. Like, yeah, these people committed fraud. But the point they're trying to make about her being like her net worth jumping up, if just a little research, you'll find out that the white dude that she married was like worth $25 million, and they had to put that on the financial disclosure that he was a partner in a venture capital firm that's valued between $6 million and $25 million. Like,
but even if he,
Hey, but hold on. Hey, hold on. Steve, if women get married like that, Steve, I know you don't believe women should get married that many times.
Yeah,
that's degenerate.
Look, I only got a problem with the commodification of social relationships. I don't have a problem with people.
So is she a degenerate? Is Ilhan a degenerate, Steve?
No, she not.
Yes,
She not.
she is. Yes, she is.
She gotta be degenerate.
If she was selling herself for a pack of ground beef, then
What you think she was doing?
Steve, so she married a white man. You grow up Somali, Muslim, and now you marry a white capitalist. And
that's not degenerate.
You not only a degenerate, you don't even believe.
Now we can call her some other things. She filed for that, but I'm not gonna say degenerate.
Degenerate for marrying her brother. For marrying her brother.
That wasn't her brother. That's been debunked.
I tell you what's not debunked. That white man. That's
The
a
white
capitalist.
man, she with him, and he
Super
rich.
capitalist,
So
right? You said how much millions?
he worth. It say his company that he'll partner in is valued at $6 million and $25 million.
All I gotta
She
do-
turned her back on Somalis and Muslims.
Exactly.
And poor folks.
And socialists.
Now we can take critique at all that, but to be like, she stole the money. Nah, she just married a rich white guy.
Fellas. Johnny, before you get there, I forgot we do have a newcomer to the panel, and we probably went through a couple of Dead Pixel. I'm gonna welcome you to the panel, and I'm not sure when you added to it, but I'd love for you to give your POV on whatever you would love to give your POV, and we'll kind of respond to you. My bad, I meant to bring you up a little bit earlier.
That's cool. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, so it's a slight. Well, it sound like you in a room.
we got an international.
That sound like Australian. Australian.
We don't know that yet. Where you from, bro?
I'm from London. Americans, for some reason, always think
Australia,
people
close
from
enough.
England are Australian. I don't know why that is.
Because I've been to Australia. You sound just like them.
Well, you've
They
been
be like,
to a place.
hello,
that
mate.
I came in when you were talking about immigration. You've since talked about OnlyFans, and by the way, Steve, I completely agree with you, so I'm going to back you up on that.
He said, I talked about what?
He was talking about OnlyFans.
Thank you, man.
And yeah, I guess now you're talking about the Somalian community.
Yeah, so wherever you want to hop in at, wherever you have your strongest opinion, just talk to us.
Oh, I mean, I've got opinions on all of it, to be completely honest, but I don't want to take up.
Let's hear the OnlyFans. What's your reasoning behind it?
Hey, this is your time, mate. Let it go. Pause.
Okay, you gotta stop. You gotta stop with the Crocodile Dundee accent, though. I'm not from that place. That's where we sent our criminals. So, like, that is offensive to me as an English person. Because you're basically
y'all
calling
sent them
me
to
a criminal.
America first. You sent them here first.
We didn't send our criminals there.
They're the worst of the worst. Yeah.
They did send some degenerate whites over there to Australia. They sent some degenerate whites over there.
Australia was basically like a penal colony. Like we just sent everyone over there.
It's true.
So okay, well, OnlyFans. Steve, I agree with you completely. I think the issue is the like people selling themselves. I disagree with that, but I think the biggest issue is the kind of loss of potential. So what might a girl have achieved in her life if she wasn't, I don't know, 16, 17, and she's seeing these women online that are driving Lamborghinis and thinking, oh, I'm going to go and do that when I turn 18. You know, what could they have done with their lives?
Dead Pixel. What if she 35 and decide to sell that box?
No, he doesn't mind selling the box. He said just the only.
You don't mind? My bad.
I wouldn't say I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, I do believe that any consenting adult has the right to do what they want.
Have you ever paid for box? Have you ever paid for some box?
Hell no. Hell no.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with it, brother. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh man.
Box either.
Johnny, no, I
one way or another, you
gonna pay for it.
I mean,
you ain't
gonna get none of it broke.
When you
ever tried to get something broke?
But what about the women that
pay? Johnny, you done got some free box before though, right?
After you invested in.
Oh no,
what about
you never got no box just off the strength though?
Yeah, you're right.
What about the surrogate women? What about the women that sell their womb?
Ooh.
I have an issue. I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that as well.
Damn.
But listen, we're taking away from Dead Pixel time. That was just a quick little one-liner that I want to throw in there.
Well, y'all keep interrupting them, so you know.
My bad.
You're right.
That was my bad.
No. Feel free to jump in. Honestly, like I don't want to do a monologue here.
Yeah,
because I will just take.
Dead Pixel. We let LTO go for about 20 minutes. You got the flow, man.
You know, I gave LTO a full interrogation for sure.
Yeah. So my issue is when you're holding up like these people. I'm trying to. By the way, can I just check something? Yeah. What kind of language can I use on your channel? Like I don't want to get you straight.
Any bloody language you want.
All right. So wait. Do not.
Hey, no hard R though.
Do not say the M word.
I wasn't about to start doing that, but no. You got these fucking people like Bonnie Blue, right? And they're driving a Lamborghini, doing whatever. She's fucked. Like I don't know how many lives of women she's fucked up.
Who'd you say again?
Do you know what I mean? I don't know how many like girls' lives she's fucked up by holding that as an example of you want to be like me.
Which woman are you referencing?
Bonnie Blue. You know that Bonnie Blue, the one who does all of those stunts where it's like 1,000 guys in a day and all this kind of stuff.
I thought she got arrested.
But are women,
I heard about that. I don't know why she got arrested, but
are women emulating her?
Selling their box.
Was she just suspected?
I don't think like I mean I'm using her as an extreme example, right? Okay. But I think we're seeing a real rise of girls that are like turning 18, and like the second they turn 18, they create their OnlyFans account. Now, like you're not going to go and do anything serious for the rest of your life now. Like if you get any kind of traction on your OnlyFans channel, you're not going to go and do anything serious. And also, like guys, I'm just going to put it out there. They're kids, man. Like they're gonna have kids one day. Their kids are gonna grow up, and it's like, oh yeah, that was what my mom used to do when she was like 18, 19.
Do you have the same opinion of like? Do you have the same opinion for like porn workers as well, like women in the porn industry who
ban?
Yeah, I do. I do have exactly the same opinion, but where the porn industry was different to OnlyFans was that it was at least kind of moderated. It wasn't like open and free to everyone to go and destroy their lives immediately. It was kind of ring fenced.
It was like a gateway.
Yeah. So
exactly,
gatekeepers.
So Dead Pixel again, like where you're having the conversation, it does still beg me the question: if she's 34 years old, 35, and she decides to get an OnlyFans or start porn, do you have an issue, and why?
Look, I don't so much have an issue with any individual person doing what they want to do with their lives. I think everyone should be free to go and do what they want. What I don't like is the kind of normalization of it as a practice.
Okay,
I can agree with that.
In the market, pushing people towards those avenues. The market is pushing people towards those is legitimate avenues in order to make money off of it. Like there's a problem with that.
Steve, we in America.
It's the problem them doing it. Everything. The conditions.
And then I think it ruins the perception of young. Like you heard a lot of these incel red pill dudes. They see all this stuff and they see these, the extreme examples, And it's creating this dichotomy. It's just like it's like a circular thing where now you see all these people do OnlyFans, and then you go down this red pill rabbit hole, and it's just a circle over and over again of creating the worst type of people who think all relationships is based off money. And that's why I say the commodification of the social relationship is what I have a problem with, because I think it leads to us being inadequate people. It leads to us being.
But fucking for free, don't.
Are you blaming like
Fucking
OnlyFans for the
no,
rise?
because if a woman chooses to fuck you for free,
when people first got married,
You're
women
right,
were getting married to
but
men.
think about this:
so
if
the
a
man
woman
taking care of her,
but
which
think
meant
about
that
this.
It was all about the money. It was
If
all
a
about
woman-
if he couldn't take care of her, she wouldn't have married him.
That's very
And
different than
dowries and
saying.
all that stuff like that. Is money always about any of it? You know.
But that's that's very different than removing even like OnlyFans even removes the aspect of like there was still a courting process. There was still a thing of me talking to the father. There still was a thing of me. There wasn't just like, oh, I show up with the biggest
Don't
wad
marry
of
the
cash.
damn OnlyFans. Like,
It, you know, and I'm just using OnlyFans for stand-in off for like this type of, you know, this kind of transactional nature that we got between
Hey,
man
y'all,
and women.
can we hear the rest of what Dead Pixel has to say about immigration and all that other stuff? I mean,
Man, well, John want to talk about that. We see what we gonna have to do an episode on this, obviously, because
Clearly,
this.
yes. I didn't know that this was as much of a hot button.
yeah.
But
sex work. That's gonna be the next. We got to unpack that sex work.
Next
Pause.
week. I like it. All right. Dead Pixel.
So Dead Pixel, because you over in London, like, and there's a big similar conversation as it relates to like Eastern Europeans. The Brexit recently happened. There seems to be some regrets as it relates to Brexit and potentially.
Oh no. There's
So
no regrets. I don't know where this narrative comes from.
So are you pro Brexit? Were you like, do you agree with some of this rhetoric from a UK perspective as it relates to immigration? I'm curious to hear from that.
Okay, so it's a little bit complex. So I didn't vote for Brexit. I didn't vote to leave. But if they were to say, hey, we can vote on rejoining the EU right now, would I vote to say yes? No, I probably wouldn't. There's this narrative online for some reason that the people of the UK really regret Brexit and that it's like destroyed the country and all. It hasn't. Like, I always hear this from like people that come from abroad. To be honest, I just feel like it hasn't really changed anything. Like, life here feels the same. What has changed in immigration terms is where people are actually coming from. So we're getting a lot less European immigration, and we're getting a lot more kind of Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Somalian immigrants. So immigration has, like, if you actually look at the statistics for immigration, they're getting higher than they've ever been. But that's because a lot of people from the EU are actually leaving. So a lot of people from the EU are leaving, less people from the EU are coming, and more people from outside the EU are coming. So it's changing the landscape and the culture of the country quite a lot. And I think that's really the only, when people make kind of economic arguments about Brexit, I sort of feel like these things are temporary, these things can be fixed over time, but the change in culture that's resulted from it, that's going to be something that's a lot harder to solve.
Hey, Dad. So you saying it's made the country like noticeably more diverse?
Yeah.
To that point, they say that the most popular name in England for the first time is like Muhammad, I believe, was like a statistic that came out recently. But I don't know, Dad Prez, if you can talk about
it's been that way for a few years. That pops up once a year, like they do a survey or whatever, and it always kind of makes headlines. It's an interesting fact, but it's not exactly like as telling as you might think that it is. The difference is that the Muslim population, they name their children Muhammad a hell of a lot more than the British people name their kids John. So they're just they're just choosing from a much smaller pool of names. So there's always like 5 different versions of Muhammad, and they tend to pick from that. Like, there's so many Muhammads. So yeah, so it's, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a true statistic, but it's not exactly like what it sounds like on the surface.
And but like in response to like, I guess the changing, like how do people feel over there in UK with like
We are. Sorry, just to jump. We're massively heading towards right-wing politics. Massively, not just in the UK, but all over Europe.
Over Europe, right? All the nationalist rhetoric. It's like it's gaining traction everywhere.
And it's based on like the immigration coming from these certain places. It's in response.
What
I think it's like a lot of things. It's not actually so much the Somalians, but it's also like the Bangladeshi community, the Afghan community. They're doing loads and loads of stuff, particularly around COVID, when there was like, we had a very different time during COVID than you guys did, as I understand. We had, do you know what the furlough scheme was? Do you know?
No, enlighten us.
Okay, so the government didn't want employers to lay off their staff. So they said, like, put them on furlough. So you're kind of putting your employees on pause, and we're going to pay like 100% of their wage. So basically that kept the employment, like the unemployment level, basically the same. It didn't really change because everyone was just kind of put on pause. So you had a bunch of people that were kind of creating fake companies and creating fake members of staff to claim wages for people that didn't even exist.
That's the British PPP loan.
We would have ran that up. They would have ran that up in Atlanta, boy.
Yeah, we had.
They already got the LLCs.
You know how many
ready.
LLCs got created when them PPPs hit?
Nigeria went crazy with that one. Them Nigerians.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff. But like in terms of kind of, I mentioned about how we're swinging to the right. The pendulum is swinging so fast and with so much power to the right here. I talk to people about this a lot. Like, I feel like we've been very kind of center and left for a really long time, and all of the kind of woke stuff that's been happening, and now there's such a reaction that we're swinging way to the right, and I feel like we're actually going to end up too far right as a result of that.
Dead Pixel, let me ask you this. As we start bringing it back to what the main topic was, I know we did deter into Ilhan Omar and conversations like that, the Somali. But what is your general take on? Are you familiar with Nick Fuentes? I imagine if you tapped into this, the algorithm fed you some Nick Fuentes. What is your take
on him, just as a person, or his politics, or
him as a person and his politics?
I find him quite a contradictory character. I feel like he says a lot of things, and then he'll do a show, and then he'll kind of say something that kind of differs from that point. I think I don't agree with everything that he says. There are a few points, and I'll try to think of one sort of specifically that I can kind of talk about.
I was going to ask, like, what are 2 or 3 points that he has that you specifically agree with?
I think Israel's control over kind of Western nations is something that I would agree with him on.
Okay, that's kind of like the horseshoe. So that's right and left. They all kind of agree on that space. Anything else? Again, he has his immigration politics. He has his race-based politics.
Do you think women should vote in England?
I had a conversation about this just the other day. I've got no problem with women having the right to vote, but what I do have a problem with is them bitching about having it later than we had it. Like they didn't get the right to vote at the same time that we did, and there's a reason for that, which no one ever seems to like talk about. So
which would be what?
Men got the right to vote basically hand in hand with the.
Is it selective service also?
So when basically what you would call doing a draft, like when the draft laws came in over here, it basically came hand in hand with us having the right to vote, like just any man having the right to vote. So it was kind of like, look, we're going to send you to war, but you're going to have a vote on like who the government is that sends you to war. Now, because women weren't being drafted, they didn't get the right to vote. So the government, I guess, just felt like, well, we don't need to appease you in the same way that we need to appease men. We need to give men kind of the feeling of some power in the kind of system of democracy in a way for them to kind of support sending them to whatever.
So Dead Pixel, just again, quick history lesson for me so I can understand. So for y'all, when did the right to vote start?
I'll have to look that up, but I think it came in just before World War One or just after World War
Oh damn! So like most people over the entirety of England or like Europe weren't able to. Oh, I guess you're Britain, right? Able to vote.
They were monarchies.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, we still are a monarchy.
Yeah, they got the
So
queen.
in general, like most men didn't have.
What do y'all even vote on?
Anything to vote about.
I'll tell you what, I'll look it up quick.
I mean, they can vote now. I mean, the monarchies, for the most part,
vote for the prime minister, right?
Yeah, but the monarchies is mostly they have zero power. Like they still exist.
That Pixel got a loud keyboard. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a gaming. That's a gaming. That's a gaming. That's one of them gaming ones.
Yeah, that's definitely a gaming one.
It's not a gaming one.
Everything.
So it was 1918. We got the right to vote.
1918.
So like
that was at the beginning, or that was the end of the war.
So basically, you trying to say women have no responsibility for colonialism?
So for 1900 years, they just.
I mean, we did quite a lot of that before anyone had the right to vote. So, like a lot of that happened before even men had the right to vote.
The king did.
That's why. So, who was in charge? Was it a woman in charge?
Said, "Hey, look, that wasn't us."
Queen Elizabeth. But
I mean, we've had kings and queens like all throughout that. So.
So really quickly, what were men doing in the 1805? I'm gonna just give it a random date. So if you wanted to change some shit, you just had to like chill out and just shut up.
Pretty much, yeah.
They got shipped over to the U.S. What are you talking about?
They was the Quakers.
They said you on the get your ass on the boat. Get your ass on the
boat. They got shipped over to Australia.
I think I think a lot of I mean I don't know, but I'm just going to kind of speculate that I think a lot of that probably fed into it. It's like you're taxing the shit out of me. I don't have any say. I don't have any power. I'm going to go over to the new world. You know.
Well, I guess that is like the taxation without representation.
That's exactly it.
I get their picks. So my question would be: was there a fight to get that right to vote, or did they just like, hey, y'all been fighting long enough? Here you go. I imagine there's like a big like push for people to get the right to vote in England. I imagine
like a feminist movement type thing.
That's I'm just say it that way, but
no, I'm just gonna say I don't know. I don't want to like guess or kind of give anyone the wrong impression or anything like that. But
how did
we've had
that's crazy. It sounds crazy in America.
We've had a lot of political strife here. Like we have a thing every single year called Fireworks Night. Or we used to call it Guy Fawkes Night. And does anyone know about this? Have you ever seen the film V for Vendetta?
Once.
You ever seen that film?
I've heard of it. Okay,
I've seen it when it first dropped. That joint was like 20 years old.
Yeah, V for Vendetta. That's a good movie. Good movie. Good movie.
It is a good movie. Yeah, it is.
He said, yeah, he didn't take enough people out. If you ask me in the movie.
Oh, shit.
So his mask and his character.
Revolutionary Steve.
So his mask and his character was inspired by a guy called Guy Fawkes, and what he tried to do is he tried to blow up the English Houses of Parliament. So he basically snuck barrels of gunpowder into a cellar that was underneath, like basically the equivalent of your Senate, I guess. And he tried to blow it up. And every year, what we do is we build an effigy of him and we set it on fire. Every single year we do that. So like we still remember
praise of him, or like as in saying fuck him.
No praise of him. No, we just build a man out of straw that looks like him, and we set him on fire every single year.
Hey, Dead Pixel, do you know what pause mean?
Sorry.
Like so over there, do y'all have a term called pause? Do you understand like that meaning? Or is that weird? Like pause.
Pause as in like stop. Pause as in like stop what you're doing.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if this is an accent thing or like
no, it's not an accent thing.
So it's like
when you said Guy Fawkes, I thought to say pause, but I ain't.
Yeah, that's a pause moment.
That was definitely.
It's like when you say something that it sounds zesty, but you didn't mean for it to sound zesty, so you say pause.
So like over here, I ain't never heard nobody use the term Guy Fork.
It's
No, that was his name, Guy Fawkes.
So okay. So
it's FAWKES.
That was his name, Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes.
So right, okay. So I'm getting a little bit now because I come in here and say we have Guy Fawkes night.
Yeah, that sounds crazy
the wrong way.
You said that. We have guys. Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Never come to London. Like you saying Guy Fucks.
I thought you never go to Guy Fork, like a fork and a spoon. I was like, a Guy Fork? That's kind of weird. Like what? Like,
well,
I ain't never heard nobody call his shit a Guy Fork.
Also, I don't know. I was just listening, but yeah.
But just going back to your question, just quickly.
Yes.
I would say some of his points on immigration, I agree with. I don't know what everyone else here thinks about immigration, but
I think that well, what is the part? Yeah, what is the point that you agree with him with immigration?
Well, I mean, again, it's a little bit difficult to answer because he does contradict himself.
Okay.
But I have seen clips recently of him basically saying that he's not against all immigration. He's against kind of mass immigration, and that's the sentiment that I share here, and that's the sentiment.
Okay, so you're not. Are you specific in the idea that you're for? Because this is a point that he has. He has a point where he says that he is for European/white immigration, and that society should be primarily white based in general. So that this is like his take on America. But immigration that he would most like would be those from European countries, and from the countries like whether you say Somalia, again we spoke about them, or Mexico, or like we could say the Caribbean, anything like that. He is way less favorable of that because
he wants a black quota.
But yo, Q, here's where I will shoot like England and other European countries a little bit of bells because they're actually European versus like America, which is different. This is where I say as like I can kind of understand the logic. Not saying it's right or wrong, but I can understand the logic there versus here.
You gave him bail too early. We wanted to
hear. My bad.
Yeah, Dead Picks will talk to us.
Yeah, so like that, I guess it's one of my biggest issues with Brexit is that it changed. Like I'm not against immigration.
Okay.
I am against mass immigration. So like we've had times in our history where we've needed immigration to rebuild after World War II. We really needed immigration. So we basically had a bit of a kind of an open invitation to kind of countries within the empire to come to England.
Okay.
And that was kind of to everyone's benefit. Everyone got something out of that deal. And then basically around the 90s, things just went completely insane. Like the levels of immigration became completely unsustainable.
And where do y'all have heavy immigration from?
We have a lot of Romanians. We have a lot of Bulgarians. We have a lot of
so I guess as we pause right there. And we use pause in different ways, but
I understand it now, so I can pause.
Bro, so y'all don't look at Romanians as European?
They Eastern Europeans. They're not English.
Romanians too.
They're not English. So that East versus West thing is a real thing. So it's like I'm saying, like the Anglo-Saxon way of life is not the Eastern European way of life, and the cultures aren't the same.
Let me ask you this real quick, Dead Pixel. So what's the difference between an Eastern and a Western European?
I mean, that's a very expansive question. There's a lot of differences, but I'm not necessarily like trying to pick on like Eastern Europeans.
but all right. So again, I'm like a very blank canvas. Just give me some like if I was to just scroll Reddit or something like that. What are some of the differences that we would say? You can drag a little bit if you want to.
Okay, so I'll give you
culturally if you juxtapose the cultures.
Okay, I'll give you, and I'm not like picking on Eastern European here. I think all immigration, I don't really have so much of an issue, but
we only got European on here.
I'll give you an example. I used to work as a housing officer, in, I guess, what you would call the projects, right? So my job was to basically go to these like housing estates and like deal with different things. I also had to collect rent and stuff like that. It was a bit of a dangerous job, but I also had to deal with like
you was like a landlord.
This is before Cash App.
I was like a representative of like state housing
For the state housing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to deal with all manners of stuff, from like antisocial behavior to like rent collection and this, that, and the other. And there's a lot of good people that live there, but the people that are really just antisocial, they stand out like a sore thumb. And a lot of people that were coming over from kind of Eastern European countries or kind of Middle Eastern countries, their rules on, let's just say, sanitation was not the same as everyone else's.
And to be clear, when you say Eastern,
and I'll give you an example of that if you really want me to.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Okay, so the women were throwing their used tampons off the balconies.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So like when you went outside, you see like red.
What culture was this?
Nick Fuentes would have seen a tampon over in London, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
he would have known what it was though.
It didn't stop there though. Like they would throw like dirty, well, we call them nappies, you call them diapers, but they would throw like full diapers off the balcony. So like, it's
dirty nappies. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of dirty nappies, man.
I like nappies
Hey, what
as a
culture is
diaper.
this?
I do.
I heard
like
somebody
nappies.
else. I heard somebody else talking about this. What culture were they from?
Or what countries are we talking about people being from?
Oh man, you about to get yours. Pause.
There was a lot of Romanians. There was a lot of Ethiopians. There was a lot of
Ethiopian. Yeah, there was a lady who did.
Hey,
there was a lady.
We talking about Eastern Europeans. That's Africa. That's the wrong place.
Eastern Europeans. He was like, no. Okay, yeah.
We waiting for them.
No, because hey, the lady talked. She had a whole experience. The lady was throwing diapers in her front yard, just throwing them out there, and she had to tell them you can't do that. Yeah.
Hey man, that shit funny, bro. That boy said Romanian. He said, nah, Ethiopian. Yeah. That sound about right.
But like
Africa.
I got a question. Who is the Nigerians of the Eastern Europeans? That's my question. Who is the Nigerians?
It's got to be the Polish.
It's got to be
Who the Nigerians of the Eastern Europeans?
What do you mean the Nigerians?
So the scammers.
So like this. So this is a funny thing.
Ooh.
Nigerians are cool here.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly, like, when I think Nigerian, I don't think scammer. Like one of my like best friends years ago was a Nigerian guy, and yeah, they're cool. Like this guy used to sit next to me, called Moses. He was a Nigerian guy. He was about 70 years old, and I don't think I've ever met anyone with stronger morals than him my entire life. He was such a genuinely good guy. Yeah, I had a lot of respect for him all along. So yeah, the whole kind of Nigerian scammer thing is just not.
So who are the scammers of the Eastern Europeans though?
The Roma,
the Poles.
They call them the Gypsies. I don't know if I can say that, but
there's a lot of Lithuanian scammers. A hell of a lot.
Okay. So now we gotta know, avoid them. So Luca, you on the watch list? I think
He's Slovenian. He's Slovenian.
Oh, my bad.
Hey man, don't disrespect Don Luca like that, man.
And the thing is, when they get caught scamming or committing fraud here, they just leave and just go back to Lithuania.
Hey, Dad, I have a question to ask you. I don't know when you're gonna come back on, and we talk about a lot of topics over here. You in your history, when your people came to the Americas,
on your dead
who did they see? In your museums, what did those people look like when they came over here?
You don't know shit about no FBA.
What do you mean? Because that's not my history. Because my people didn't go over to America.
Nigga, like, bro, they got to America. They were like last on the
list. Let him.
You're not from England
without anything.
Yeah,
they don't got how they.
You're not from England?
Let Dead Pixel answer how.
Yeah, I'm from England, but we don't have any connection to like
You guys want to teach about the war that you guys had over here?
No.
Yeah, they lost.
They lost. Why would they teach that?
They don't teach wars that they lose. That's what I'm saying. That's not even a narrative over there. They only focus on the shit they conquering still.
You think I'm about to replay my lowlights for like the next 400 years?
We focus on World War II quite a lot, yeah.
Where we were allies. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys showed up late. Like, we fought that on our own for a long, long time.
Well, y'all get y'all ass.
Yeah, but y'all were the ones
because it won our fight. I mean, you're right.
It wasn't our fight, and the reason, and that's how
Germany was kicking ass.
It wasn't our fight either. It wasn't our fight either.
But you don't talk about the colonies that you had.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Because as they started to move further west, ultimately you knew what was next. Like if they gained too much ground on the mainland, they coming after that island next. So
that's not true. The former king of England was friends with Hitler.
Real talk though. You guys never talked about the colonies that you had in the Americas.
No.
Damn.
They lost them. They don't. It's like
because you got to think. Just to like finish that. Like you got to think it's a branch in history. So like my family didn't go over to America. Yeah. Like my family didn't go over to America. So like we're here and we stayed here. So it's not part of like that lineage.
But you seem to know a lot about Australia and the connection to you guys in Australia. But the connection to you in the United States, you guys just don't even talk about it.
I mean, I know a little bit about it, but if you're going to ask me what's in the museum, there isn't one.
Damn.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this one. Again, we don't get a lot of people from England. We do have our weekly South African brother, but again, as we're talking about Eastern Europeans versus Western Europeans, my question is it more extreme the colder the weather?
More extreme.
Yeah. Like over here, we have this thing where we be like the cold weather whites. They kind of like become a little bit more extreme. Like the Russians, they like a little bit like when they over here. You know what I mean? Do y'all look at it like that, or is it like different? I don't know.
I mean, I've never really thought about it that way, but I guess you could say that. Yeah, like we have like the people in Scotland, for example, they're further north than we are, and I think they're seen. Yeah. Oh hell yeah. They're seen as a harder people, I think. And I would probably say the same thing as like Lithuanian people as well.
Okay, so like the colder the weather is like the harsher.
I tell you right now, if you go into London thinking that's good weather, you came from some shit ass territory. That is for sure.
Hey, I got a better question. Dad, when you look at the panel members, are they African to you?
Like, what do you mean? Do you mean ethnicity or nationality?
Both.
Now you tell us. You tell us. We just gonna ask. That's the question. You tell us what you said, because old man not gonna let this go till you entertain it. So
old man is in it to win it.
I mean, I don't know if they're from the Caribbean or where your ancestry is from.
He said we non-FBA, y'all. Oh Lord.
When you look at them and you heard the panel,
turn your camera on, Steve.
Does it say Africa?
Let me ask you a better question. Let me ask you a question, old man. So, Dad Prez, if I was walking around in London with this garments, would you think I was like African,
Nigerian,
Caribbean? Would you even think American?
If I saw you on the street, I would immediately think American. Yeah.
Does that help you, old man?
Hey,
I don't know, G. You kind of look Ghanaian. G, you kind of like Ghanaian, bro. You kind of look like you from Ghana, bro.
This one, I got it. This is my final one for Jed. This is my final one.
Oh yeah, you look like you from Ghana, bro.
Jed, are Black Americans African to you?
Was that a question to me?
Yeah.
Why would he? Why it don't matter?
Let him answer, damn.
He don't even know about the colonies. And
I know. That's why it's important.
So sorry, repeat the question for me.
Are Black Americans, when you say, okay, you know the difference between someone, are Black Americans African to you? From what you know about us?
I mean, if someone calls himself African American, I'm going to say that they're an American person of African ancestry. But I don't think I quite understand what your question is, or like what you're trying to like get.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, oh man, you
They not even having. Oh man, they not even having this conversation over there.
I don't want the context to be clear because I want an honest response. That's why I don't want the context to be clear.
He sees black as synonymous with the term African. Like he's like I said, like over there, but they don't even really talk about it doesn't translate.
I got a better one. Because he can relate. And the Australian Aboriginals, are they African to you?
Australian Aboriginals? No, they're not African.
Okay. He knows that because he has a connection to Australia more than he does here to America. So that's why I asked him that.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on, please.
Hey man, y'all funny, bro. Y'all funny for real.
You trying to find his Ethiopia again?
I got the
old man was just like, hold up. I know I'm gonna hear some African country pop up.
I just want to say something about the.
You thought I was gonna say Jamaicans? I know what old man was looking for.
We gotta let get his Somali point.
I know who he thought was Caribbean. He thought Johnny was Caribbean. He thought Q was Nigerian.
I'm more African. I'm more American than all y'all.
Yeah, that boy Q look like he Igbo.
For real. Shout out to the gang. Yeah. Real Igbo. You hear that? Bloodline.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Come on, now. Don't do that to us. You already know. You already know our bloodline.
Unc refused to accept that. He like, we not accepting that at all. Don't put that on the blood.
Everybody on here know our bloodline.
We know.
Hey, Dead Pixel. Let me ask you this. So you said that you would, if you seen us out on the street, you would think American. What is it that would be distinct about us that would seem American?
Dress sense, mostly fashion.
Okay.
Like you can spot an American person in London, like in a heartbeat.
And you're saying that's based on dress, not our phenotype.
Yeah, it's just dress. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
That's what's up.
Americans can't dress.
Let me get on them.
Okay.
Come on now. Somalians. Yeah, Paul. No, y'all ain't say Paul Sunday, so there ain't no Paul.
Yeah, you need to say pause. You said you about to get on him. I'm like, yeah, pause on that, man.
Yeah. Listen, you called us out on the good pause that we didn't know.
Got a Sunday.
Yeah, we said it afterward, but we was talking about how soft and hard Diddy was.
Whoa, yeah. That's crazy.
Hey, yo.
I got on about that.
That sounds crazy as hell, bro.
That sounds crazy.
And it wasn't until Unc said it that he was like, "Oh damn."
Nah, that's flagrant.
That might be the worst offense ever on the show.
Listen, we had a crazy one the other week.
No, Rail got that one.
Rail got it by a long shot. Probably.
Whoa.
But go ahead, Unc.
Yeah, the Somalians, something that people don't understand. And I've been telling people this for over 20-something years about the Somalians. What people don't understand is their bloodline is weird and confusing because it's Arabic and African, and it's also a bunch of incest that goes on over there. So you know what I'm saying? With them, they don't even consider themselves black. They think they're Arabic. But if you look at them and you look between, and you can tell people that are incest because they have gaps between their teeth a lot of times, and their hairs are funny.
Oh, come on, man!
No, this is all. This is all a fact.
Got the science.
This is all medically.
Got the science.
Look it up. Look it up.
I understand the head, but not the teeth, dog.
Gotta get to
yes, the teeth. Yes, teeth.
I'm weak, bro. I'm weak.
Teeth are supposed to touch each other. And when they don't touch each other, they fall out. But if you have gaps between all your teeth and they just sitting there, that's incest.
Supposed to touch each other.
Hey, the demand for a dentist is going up right now.
Yo,
hey, man, this shit funny, man.
But the thing is, they don't even claim to be black.
Research on that one.
They don't claim. Look, do the research.
He said gaps in all the teeth.
I'm about to ask ChatGPT this shit right
He
now,
said
man.
gaps in every teeth is
Not just
incest.
the front gap, but you talking about the
All teeth, nigga.
All of them gapped up
Space.
like hell.
Yeah.
They only need a toothpick. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, like I'm saying, they don't even consider themselves black. They say that they're Arabic. And for them to come from Africa like that, it's because it was, you know what I'm saying? They do have Arabic blood in them, but it's a lot of incest that goes on over there too.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
don't look
all
at
of them-
Ethiopians or Somalians as black.
So what you saying? They got, but you look at other Africans as black. Q, like what you mean by that?
They have a lot of bloodline from Arabic. They have a lot of Arabic bloodline in them. They're more Arabic than they are black.
Yeah,
When you say, wait, none of them are black. They're African.
So that's why I was asking for clarity. You know, so you see some Africans as black, but not others. Like what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I don't think that we're descendants.
Speaking to me?
No, he's talking to me. I don't think we're descendants of anybody from Ethiopia.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we necessarily are, but when Ethiopians come here and have kids, those kids aren't considered black kids, for example.
Yeah, I mean,
I personally don't look at like so. For example, I don't look at Myron Gaines as black. He's not black. He's a northern Sudanese guy. He's way more Arabic in like I cringe when he says the hard ER or just the N word in general.
What about somebody who leans towards our culture though? Who's of that?
I don't care about that. I just don't think that they're.
They're not black.
I think that they're more Arab in comparison.
But you would give like a native Nigerian a black pass.
No, I
over a Somali or neither one.
No, I
neither
think
one
that,
get a pass.
No. All right, so I think that Nigerians are black. Like that, like phenotypically they're black. I think that there's a genealogical tree that branches to Africa and Nigeria and West Africa.
They're
I
not
don't think
black,
that we are.
though,
I don't think
they're
that we are.
African.
I don't think that we're descendants of Ethiopians and Somalians. And I think that they have a heavy influence.
But aren't Nigerians descendants of Ethiopians?
I think this kind of where
the originals were black, but
this is
they got muddied down by when the others came there and conquered them.
If life starts in East Africa and spreads east and west from there.
But the beginning point
that would mean like everybody's black. If we
the beginning point
that one, then sure.
But the beginning points of the terms like Ethiopian, black, Moors, they all describe Africans from different parts of Africa. So the word black is usually in the European history when you read it.
Sub-Saharan Africans
is referring to Africans specifically during the transatlantic slave trade. Ethiopian at one point was a term to describe dark-skinned people of Africa, but that was a different time period. The same way the word Moor was used to describe dark-skinned people from a certain part of Africa. So and then of course you got the American context of what black. So black becomes something else when black people turn it into something else in America. But the word black from a European historical context, that was usually used to describe people from sub-Saharan Africa that they trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade. And then obviously it becomes something else that we use to differentiate now. You know what I'm saying? Like these things is much more complex than like people try to make them
But in general, that's kind of where I drew the line at, is that if you are of that section, sub-Saharan West Africa, and or obviously like African American, that's kind of where I look at as black. If you're a descendant of any of those two groups, I don't look at and again,
what about the islands? Islands?
They're descendants of sub-Saharan Africa. They just was the different style.
Okay, but a lot of things are mixed too. Like it got mixed in over the time.
Well, I think that all
everybody
to be a black American, to be a black American means you're mixed. That means you have native blood, you have European blood, you have African blood. That's what it means to be black in America for sure.
Okay, that mean, yeah, for sure.
That's why I said.
you
That's
have-
why I
a
said
tether
they're not
hairline,
black.
y'all.
That's why I said they're not black.
Yeah, they're not black
Well,
American.
they not black in the American context in which
Yeah.
we've made black to mean now.
They're
But
not.
as
Even,
far
they're
as
not even black in their own country.
no.
You only
The
become
the
black
the,
here.
the descriptor of
We talking
black
about
is
the
not
right.
we don't come up with black. I think this is where the confusion is. Europeans come up with black.
That's a false statement because the black has been used in other languages in many different terms. I mean, Indians have a god.
Africans would not refer to
God that's
themselves.
referred to as black.
Africans would not refer to themselves
You're
as
on
black.
mute, Steve. You're on mute.
You mute.
More
I
is a
can-
translation of black, right?
I can hear Steve.
So that means like
I can hear Steve too.
more
Blacks
means
would
black,
not be
right?
referred to, were not self-referring to themselves as black prior to their interactions with Europeans.
But didn't more come like more means black, right?
More is even the word more is not a word we created. At one point, Europeans described everybody in at one point, Europeans described everybody in sub-Saharan Africa as Ethiopian. If you go back far enough,
Are you just saying that nobody called anybody black until Europeans came around? Is that what you're
There was
saying?
no such
they
thing.
described
There was no such thing to color to the 1600s.
it was no such thing. Like black is the beginning of the creation of race science. Like that's where black comes out of. Now we take black and we turn it into something else. I'm saying black Americans
that's
have.
kind of true and it's not because like there's been other words that mean black, like indigo, and then there's a like Indian from India. They have a god that is referred to as black. So it's like,
But they talking about the actual color. Black is being referred to as a racial group when we talking about
I know it's an
what's
ethnicity.
happened to us.
That's why I say they're not black. That's why I don't call them black because it's a specific
But
ethnicity.
to you might not think that, but the Europeans considered everybody who they moved during the transatlantic slave trade as black. That's what the text say. That's not what I believe. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what the people who did the slave trade determine what was black. Now we can differentiate after the fact and say we want to make some distinctions now. But the reality is, if you go back and look,
buy that. You know why? Because they wouldn't have first introduced us to the world as copper colored people. So if we were going to be black, they would have said black then. So like
they did,
and that goes back to the text as well. So you keep
they did call us black.
They call us copper colored.
They called us black.
Copper color race.
And if there was the Spanish, they called them Negro.
I'm referring to the text.
Negro was the Spanish code.
Like that's like if you're really trying to get to the root of where black comes from, it just comes from what the Europeans called us, and then we take it and turn it into a distinct group from the rest of the Africans after the fact.
Copper color.
If you speak to someone that's from Africa, they won't even say nothing about black people because all you see, they don't care about it because they see all they see is black people. So they don't think about it as a color like that. It's the same thing with anyone else.
I know, but that's why when we get back to your point, Unc, about the Somali, now that they're in trouble, they all of a sudden calling themselves black over here.
And they're not black. They're not black at all.
You
muted.
They call themselves black. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, now
I didn't see that part either.
Now they want to call themselves black
now.
Yeah, they want to say they're black, but they're not black. They are, you know what I'm saying?
When did they say they was black? Like what? Y'all?
I ain't seen that headline yet.
No,
yeah, post the clip, man. Y'all can't just be out here talking.
Trump said that black people know the scammers.
You play a clip of her in the thing talking about her deflecting about the stuff. We never finished that conversation, but there's other clips of her using, Donald Trump wants to belittle black people like something like that on that line. She said that, like they're calling themselves black in reference to.
They are calling themselves black.
They're calling themselves black in this moment in time because they know the heat is on them.
Hey, though, you have to admit this whole thing of the delineation is a relatively new phenomenon. Like
it is.
So the language in which people know how to speak about people from Africa currently still in the mainstream, dialogue is most people gonna understand all people from Africa is black.
Is black.
Us here know how to make that distinction. Us here got language to talk about different people from Africa, but that hasn't broken out of like this type of setting yet. Like eventually it's gonna break out, but like
hey Stephen Unk, real quick.
Okay.
We actually have a perfect opportunity. We have a European from England here.
Dead Pixel's black. What you talking about?
I just said he's Dead Pixel, you black?
No.
Yeah.
Dead Pixel, do you believe everybody came from Africa?
I haven't read enough about it to make a decision.
Man, from the Caucasus Mountains, man. Come on.
Right. So as you see, like
Neanderthal for sure.
But Dead Pixel, when you say oh my bad, you didn't say anything, but when you think black, what do you think?
What do I think? What do you mean? All right, so
like when some
so my bad. So if I set the question up a little bit better, so as you're hearing us have the conversation right now, we're speaking specifically about how in America there are different variations of how people identify themselves. And in America, there's like some stickler to even the term black and how it is identified and who gets to take that label. Some people use it as a general catch-all term from anybody from the continent of Africa and or the Caribbean islands and or the American space and maybe Canada also, right? And it pretty much anybody that has any version of descendants in dark enough melanin that's not from like India or something like that. There's also a group that says that that's specific to the experience of the United States black, African American, or like whichever term we want to use, right? Here we use the word FBA or ADOS or something.
Or just simply Black American.
Or Black American. There you go.
Like they don't have
then again,
African Englanders, right?
But then I think Steve was making the point how, in general, the identification of black and who it speaks to is something that has a history, and a history inside European colonization and identification, but a history also in being a lot more broad than like a siloed United States or like specific to just Western Africa and the descendants of them in the Caribbean or something like that. So again, saying all that to say, and again, like we don't expect you to be an expert. I think right now, and this is why Old Man has been picking your brain a little bit, because you're a little bit more of like a blank canvas to some of the questions that he asks that a lot of people have like a very, very intentional, nuanced conversations on. So yeah, right now we just asking you to be a blank canvas, and we're asking, when you hear black, what comes to mind for you?
I mean, first thing I'd say is I don't really understand the kind of the gatekeeping over the term, to be honest. I don't really understand why there's this kind of like, I can associate with this, you can't because of, you're from this country, I'm from that. I don't understand it. Maybe there's reasons, maybe there's not. I don't know. The thing is, the UK in general is a lot more we have a lot more racial harmony than you guys do. And, like I've got friends in America and they talk about race and I just feel like it just doesn't, it's not a thing here. Like you asked, is black British a term? Like you only ever see that on like forms that you might have to fill out, but no one would ever walk around the streets identifying as a black British person. They're just a British person. Like, when I look at, a black guy in this country, I just think he's a British guy. I'm a British guy. He's a British guy. There's no distinction between us. Like there's no kind of dividing term. Does that make sense?
I understand. So, but using what you're saying, who would be, when you think of on that form that somebody has to fill out?
What are the designations?
By the way, like who is the person that is filling out black British? What does that look like in your mind? Like, what is the array of people that might encompass?
Like on your forms too, like what are the different variations that you can identify as, like British? Is it white British, black? Like,
Oh yeah,
what does it say on y'all form?
There's a lot of them. There's white British, there's white Irish, there's black British, there's black British of Caribbean descent. I think that, like, I've seen a few times. Like there's a whole, like, I think they tried to make it as kind of expansive as possible so that everyone can like pick their individual box.
So they use black in the UK as well.
There's a slew of choices.
So again, I guess, and so I do want you to answer the question that I asked. So when you think of, if somebody just is, if the generic form is only putting like black British and it doesn't have all those other distinctions, who do you think of that would be signing that? Who all would encompass inside that black British group?
I mean, it would just be how they identify, I guess. It would just be like
the Nigerians.
Where would they be from?
The Sudanese.
I think any of them. Like I think any of them. Like a Jamaican, a Nigerian. I don't think it matters.
So let me ask you this: Would you put a Ethiopian inside the category of black British?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I had a quick question. Is this a new phenomenon since you're from there? Like, is it all these categories? Is that new, or has it always
not
been?
really? Nah. Like we have a lot more like harmony, I think, than you guys do. Sadly, like I went to, I grew up in London, so London's been a diverse place since the kind of 80s and 90s. Not to the degree that Piers Morgan says that it is, but yeah, I mean, I went to school with everyone from, like, we had so many different nationalities and so many different ethnicities in our school that no one, like, there was no kind of individualism, if you know what I mean. There was no kind of like, I'm British of this place, I'm British of this place. It was just like, no, we're all just British, we're all just at school. We didn't have that divide that you guys seem to have.
Gotcha. Do y'all have you ever heard anybody throw out the term tether?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
What does that mean?
Dad.
Hey, how old are you, Dad?
I'm in my 30s.
Oh, you're pretty young.
Too.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
you same age as all of us.
Hey, it sounds like Dad think of black people as friends, though.
Yeah.
Here go Johnny, man. Here go Johnny, man.
Hey,
What the hell that's supposed to mean, Johnny?
Johnny just.
If you know, you know.
I don't even know, but yeah.
Nephew.
But nonetheless,
I think we kind of like, our divide is based more on kind of nationality than it is anything else. So like, if I was to see, just like for an example, right? If I was to see a black British boxer and he was going to have a fight with like a
Joshua
white
Anthony,
Jake,
yeah,
Paul.
like, and we and he was going to have a fight with like a white French guy. I'm supporting the black British guy because he's from my country. I'm not going to support the white guy because he's white, because he's French. Like, so it's more kind of nationalistic than it is racial.
So over
nationalism holds more weight than race.
That.
Hey, so over here, that's our difference. So you remember when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
So our so-called nationalists, people who are from America, they actually supported the Irish guy and not Floyd. So that's the difference.
But were they people with Irish heritage, or were they just like?
Some of them probably were.
They were all American whites, man.
Some probably were, but most of them were just like whatever regular white would be.
Nick Fuentes whites, quarter Irish.
Yeah. And again, that's the difference, I think, between this country and yours.
Yeah. It makes good sense though, because
but that's the thing with America. But that's why America can't do that, because their nationalism would have to include people like us, and they don't want us to be.
We are all mutts over here, man. I don't understand even whether you're black mutt or white mutt, whatever. Because if you look at the genetic, all of them, everybody comes from everywhere. Nobody is from really here, but we all here, and it's just skin tone thing. That's all it is.
I'm a dog. I'm a mutt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Nah,
just the truth.
the Ellis Allen bred much. That's what he's saying, and I get it.
That'd be a foul.
Once you get over here to the mainland over here, everybody mixes with everybody. People don't want to admit it, but you know what I'm saying? It's upsetting. But we all have different bloodlines going through us, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it is. But I like the fact that over there they go with their countryman before they go someone somewhere else, and we had more nationalism, like as far as people, you know what I'm saying, having pride like that. It's a whole nother thing. That's one of the things, like y'all was saying about the women having the flag cross, twerking and stuff. I guess that's American pride. But you know,
now the whites was low key rooting against Team USA when they was playing Serbia. They was like, they was hoping that LeBron and Steph and them didn't bring it home.
Our racism weighs more than nationalism over here. Motherfuckers say fuck that flag.
Well, no, that sounds like that's the differentiating factor.
Yeah,
it's like nationalism means a lot more.
Our people that take the Confederate flag into the Congress and be like, we're patriots. I mean,
right, but I also imagine in that pixel, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's because of here in America, our history is so short in comparison to them. Like the history of like nationalism over there means like thousands of years of history, and like their people being on that land for, you know, like maybe of like here in North America, like the earliest you could trace might be some version of a 14 something, right? Maybe 15 something.
What are you talking about? As we currently are living?
The first settlement was St. Augustine, Florida. That was like 1500s, I believe.
There you go. Where with them, you know, like
it was Spanish. Yeah.
It was like they can trace it way back further to where nationalism, like whether it's like England, France, or wherever you want to go to, it's way more ingrained, and they have a history there. And yeah, it seems like
the governments for decades have been doing their utmost to destroy nationalism. Nationalism is seen as like it's spoken of in the same breath as racism, or seen as the same thing.
Oh, really?
Where it's not. I mean, there's a real rebellion against that happening right now, where people are buying flags and they're just putting them up everywhere. Like in the area that I live in, there's flags everywhere that people are putting up on like street lights and on shops and stuff like that.
Because y'all have a moment over there right now.
Yeah, and it's going to keep going, I think. And you know, I have conversations with people about it all the time because, as I say, there's flags everywhere now, and it's a kind of a part of the conversation, I guess. And for years, we've always go and shoot.
Like I was gonna say, but that nationalism, like since like British is something that's like more genius, that like that nationalism would be a form of like racism, because if people are going like British, that means they'd be want to go anti like the black immigrant.
No, I disagree with you. It's like people, because again, this conversation comes up a lot. And people say, like, we shouldn't be putting up these flags. These flags shouldn't be up because it makes people feel uncomfortable. And I say, well, why would it make you feel uncomfortable? Well, because, you know, maybe they're from someone else, or they're from somewhere else, or they don't identify as being British. And it's like, well, if you don't identify as being British, you got no right to talk about my flag. I'm not going to go to America and tell my neighbor to, like, take his American flag down. I have no right to do that, right? Like, I'm in someone else's country. So I have no right to be offended by it. And if I am offended by it, perhaps I shouldn't be there in the first place. But that flag represents anyone who identifies themselves as being British. Like, so I don't agree with you that it happens on kind of racial lines. Because as I say, the way I grew up in London in the 90s and the early 2000s, we didn't see each other as any different to each other. Like, not at all.
I ain't gonna lie, that's surprising me, because I knew like Britain got like, you know, diverse, you know, in the last few years, but I always thought it was something that was like pretty like segregated for most of the time.
Yeah, because the city
is still somewhat segregated in that like there are certain pockets of towns where it might be like heavily more, say, like immigrant populations, not as many like.
And I can tell you exactly how that happened if you want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when people apply, or when people used to apply for social housing, for like state housing, they got a choice of where they would live. So if they came to the country, if they came to London for the first time, and they knew that the Bangladeshi community was in Whitechapel, and they're Bangladeshi, they would go and live in Whitechapel because they want to live amongst their people. And that's how these micro kind of towns exist, and that's how they were formed. And there's a really strong argument, I think, against that kind of thing from happening, because we're not integrating as a group. We're dividing ourselves.
Okay. Because I know I saw a video that was from England, and it had a group of Muslims, and they was talking about, well, you get used to it, so and so, and I'm like, why are you coming to someone else's country? Why not? Why do people even move somewhere that they don't like? They want to redo the culture. If it's a culture there already, why not, if you come there, at least respect it? And that's the problem, I think, with a lot of people and immigrants and stuff like that. They want to change someone else's culture into theirs, and you don't do that. That's disrespecting someone else's house. You wipe your feet before you come into my house.
And that's exactly the reason why we're having this rise in nationalism right now. It's like an immune response to a change.
Exactly. And what it does also is, once you do that right there, what you do is you're not only just disrespecting them, but you're telling a person that you can't, your culture should be our culture, and I'm coming into where you at. That's wrong. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't. Okay. It's disrespectful.
I
And that's
agree.
the same thing that we think about the tethers. They're disrespectful.
There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fill me in on what that word means.
But the nationalism is a response to neoliberal capitalism, globalism, in which people didn't put GDP and profits of companies over everything at the expense of their fellow countrymen.
100% correct.
So when Thatcher, when you say, I feel like stuff started getting worse during the 90s. Well, what was going on in the 90s in the UK? Y'all elected Thatcher. She rose in a neoliberal agenda.
No, it wasn't Thatcher. No.
Yes, it was.
No.
Thatcher and Clinton. Thatcher and Clinton literally are in the 90s are literally at the forefront of globalism.
I think you mean Tony Blair, not Thatcher.
No, look it up. Thatcher is, if you go look up neoliberalism in the 90s, and the two people from the two most powerful countries at this point in time, you're going to see Bill Clinton and you're going to see Thatcher. Thatcher a chick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what I'm talking about. It ain't.
This nigga said, yo, that's a chick, right? Yeah, I know. That's funny.
Okay, then.
And she should be able to vote.
If you go look up when people really start to talk about who is the two most at the forefront of pushing this, selling this agenda, they sold this agenda. They sold this agenda to the Americans, and they sold this agenda to the Europeans, that this outsourcing and all of this stuff will be good for us. We'll be able to get cheap goods. We'll be able to get, whatever. It will lower the price of everything and so forth, so on. And these people ushered in, basically sold us out. They basically sold us out.
Steve, if you look at immigration statistics in the UK, you'll see that it comes in when Tony Blair is the prime minister. What is the cause of immigration? What's the point of bringing in immigrants? Because what? You trying to do what to the cost of labor?
Lord.
Yeah, they're trying to.
You trying to do what? You trying to lower the cost of labor, correct?
Yeah.
So immigration,
right now they're trying to boost the GDP. So
immigration,
they're artificially inflating the GDP,
and you can do
by
that,
increasing the population.
And you can do that by increasing the population at a lower wage, which is neoliberalism 101. The first, because Thatcher is before Blair, correct?
Yeah.
So Thatcher is the first iteration of neoliberalism coming into the UK. Blair is a continuation of it, but the actual introduction of
is your basis for this just because of Clinton?
It's actually her politics. If you actually go look at Thatcher's politics and what she believed in this kind of globalist ideology. She believes in that. And mass immigration is a carry-on of globalism. Like it's a part of globalism.
I mean, I'll go and look up some stuff, Steve. I'm not going to directly disagree with you, but what I would say is that Margaret Thatcher was probably the last prime minister that we had that had balls, which is ironic given that she was a woman. She was the only one that was kind of I'm going to say it again, the Falklands. Do you know the Falklands?
I got a question. You go look up use any chat box you want. You go use any Google search you want, and you go look up Thatcher globalism in the free market and see what it tell you. And because this is because people have this same thing about Clinton in the United States. Because people remember Clinton as, we was doing good during the 90s. We was making a lot of money during the 90s. We was doing this. Clinton literally soon as you Google it, it's gonna be a slew of shit that's gonna come up about what her true legacy is.
Hey, Debbie Speed.
That nigga can type, nigga. That's 100 words per minute. That's 100 words per minute. That nigga's got some typewriting classes.
Professional Twitter face.
Hey, he don't got not one typing.
Nigga, that nigga. Hey, he is not pecking on that motherfucker, bro. He typing for real.
Letters, all letters.
He typing for real. You
You
Google anything about Thatcher and it'll tell you that her legacy is pushing free markets, globalization, and economic freedom, quote unquote, the ramifications of the shit that we dealing with today.
I mean, the guy just answered it on screen.
Yeah, Thatcher old as shit. Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day. Y'all know the movie.
Okay, Thatcher. So Thatcher coincides with Reagan. Regardless of the point.
Reagan and Bush, yeah.
Okay, regardless of the point, when you Googled her up, what did it say about her legacy as it pertains to being what was her main tenets that she was pushing as the prime minister of the UK?
I mean, she was known for a lot. There's a lot of kind of anecdotal stuff. I think a lot of people look back when they look back at her, they think about the Falklands War, the war in the Falklands.
She literally did. I mean, this is crazy, but this is crazy because people got this same type of misremembering about people in America. She literally ushers in financial deregulation, the liberalization of markets, the free movement, like all of the stuff that people complain about that destroyed the quality of life that they had, as whether it's people in England or people in America. All of this stuff was sold to us by people who told us free markets is good and we gonna do better the freer the market is.
Anybody that was at that time
who brought in the no, they still stuck with the pounds. When did the European Union come about? What year was that? That was
04. All right, fellas. Hey, I think that this is probably a good time to land a plane. We've had a fun conversation. Shout out to all our people. We've had some new callers call in. We have had some of our OGs. And I would like, before I even wrap this and start winding it down, I would love to take this time to start with saying the Tubies are on the way. Right now, I think that everybody up here is nominated. You said
that's old man, bro. That's old man snoring. Aunt got sleep apnea. He was just talking, man.
No, I what I do?
I swear it's hard.
Breathing hard.
Hey, listen, it threw me off too. That's why I was starting to like. But
I heard some, bro. I heard
Johnny,
that too.
It's Johnny with his headset.
Oh, it might be because you keep holding the mic like that a little bit.
Yeah, that's Johnny.
Yeah. But what was I about to say? Nonetheless, the Tubies are on the way. I think that everybody up here is nominated for an award. Outside Dead Pixel, you might make it into our international
international
category.
yeah.
Like you and Campbell.
You got a 50-50 shot.
Man, you know, hey, we gotta choose between South African or European. You know that FBA ain't gonna go for the African, man. You know who they gonna vote for.
Yeah, that's a fact. We do have GG is nominated for Unpacked favorite panelist of the year. Johnny P as well, Unpacked panelist favorite of the year. Steve is dually nominated for commenter of the year, as well as call in of the year. Old man, he is again top nominee for call in of the year. That's probably our most stringent category that we have in the runnings. Unc, he's a dual nominee. He can walk away with two of them. He can walk away with two Tubies, not to be phonetically mistaken as the Tobies. This is not the Toby Awards. All right, this is not the Toby Awards. It is spelled similar. We're gonna put like a dash in there or something to make sure that we don't get it confused. But again, Unc is nominated for two Tubies. And again, Dead Press, he has popped up on us. Dead Pixels has popped up on us.
Shout out to my dads.
Again, our international award, it is we ain't got a lot of runnings in there. But
shout out to Seattle today too.
Oh yeah, we had a little West Coast. Shout out to our guy SME Slapper. That's a guy. Listen, you make it a couple more episodes, you might be a late nominee. But nonetheless,
don't forget about LT.
Oh yeah, LTO, my bad. LTO was in the building. Her and TRG, they have their her and TRG, they have our own category. This is the white Johnny Award. And
stop. They both married. Leave that out there. They stop. Don't do that.
The Snowflake Award.
Leave me out of this. Hey, stop. Don't put that on me.
The Johnny P Flakes.
Yeah, the Johnny P Snowflake Award. Not to be confused with like being a liberal, but yeah. Nonetheless, it is the gang. This has been a fun episode. We have had G the King. You see him right there. Make sure that you follow him on all socials. Hit the podcast. Make sure that you tap in with the brand. You have Johnny P. He is the host of the To Be Fair Show. He is 1/3 of the To Be Fair Show. We going corporate, baby. 2B's is OTW. We got Steve, everybody's favorite socialist. Old man, Cali's finest, the FBA. You listen when you talk about black, you better put FBA in it. We have Unc, Rock Hill's finest by way of Newark. Would you say that's Copper Scared? You crazy. And we had a new guy up here. We had Dead Pixels out of the UK. He's out of England. We had SME Slapper from Seattle. LTO, that's our homegirl. She's from Florida.
Northwest.
Yeah. And again, I'm Q. This has been Unpacked. If you want to stick around and chop it up with us, again, the link is still live. We'll hit the after show for a little bit. We'll just chop it up, have a little fun. With that said, this has been a fun episode. And like that, we out. Peace.